Real Country Radio plays here. 105.5 KD Country and streaming at kdcountry.com.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
This kick is a good one. It's going to land in the end zone for a touchback. Boy, he got all of that one. You know, he's bounced a few last week into the end zone. That one went in the end zone on a fly, Oscar, and was about 2 or 3 yards deep.
Yeah, it was, and if you don't know, in high school football, if the ball goes into the end zone, it's automatic touchback. That's a player safety rule. So with the Colonels winning the toss, Sussex takes over on the 20.
And you can't underestimate how big of a weapon that is to have a kicker that can kick a touchback, especially in high school, Oscar. I mean, you're starting the other team on the 20 automatically, and they don't have a chance to break one long. Big splits there between guard and tackle for Sussex Central, and the whole line is very spread out. They go straight ahead to the first man through. That looked like number 4, Michael Jarrett, picks up a solid 5-yard gain on the carry. A little bit like Franklin last year in that respect, Oscar, as I gaze out there. That offensive line has got a lot of space in between each man.
It does have a lot of space, and they also got a lot of size, Kyle. As you look down, they go 247, 230, 242, 270. So there's some big boys, and we know that from the history of this Sussex team, they're athletic.
That's right. 2 tight ends, 1 on each side, 1 wide out, 2 split backs behind the quarterback. They'll run the option play. Number 7, the quarterback, he wanted to keep the ball on the option, but I think his back took it from him. DeQuandre Jones is the quarterback. He stuffed it in there on that read option play, Oscar, and he wanted it back for the keeper, but the running back wouldn't let go.
No, he wouldn't. Neither one of them would let go, and the Colonels actually had both of them wrapped up, so it really didn't matter who ended up with the ball on that. Nice stop by the Colonels. No gain. Brings up 3rd and 5 for Sussex.
Michi Malback is out there trying to get some guys pumped up. Yes, Sussex 3rd and 5, 10:57 to go. They'll snap this from the left hash mark, 25-yard line. 2 tight ends, 2 receivers. They got the big split between the right guard and the tackle. They'll turn around, hand it straight ahead, not going to get enough. Man, bounced off a couple would-be Colonel tacklers, but the rest of the team was in there to stuff it up. I don't know who made the first stop. I want to say Destin Brown, Oscar. Then the team got in after that.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. It was a team stop. There were so many players in. That play had no chance. We mentioned that DeQuandre Jones has a very good arm, thrown for over right at 700 or 800 yards this year. But the Colonels were all over that play. Nice scouting job. Colonels will take over here after the punt from Sussex.
Great way to start. 3 and out for the Altavista Colonels. Sussex gets the initial 5-yard gain, then nothing after that. Looks like Richard Deganis back deep to punt for Sussex. Michi Malback is deep for the return. Not a good kick at all. He did not get much of his foot on that, Oscar, and he may have just kicked it right off his leg or his shin. Ball will roll dead at the Sussex 41-yard line. So it's a net like 5 or 6 yard punt, I think.
Yeah, they're going to spot that even. They may even be worse than that.
Yeah.
No, you're right. They're going to put it at about the 41. Yeah, that's about the 42-yard line. A whopping 17-yard punt. Colonels take over in great field position.
Big break there for the Colonels, and maybe some of the pressure they were bringing up front on the punt block unit had something to do with it, but not a good kick for Sussex. 3 wide receivers to the left for Altavista. Here comes Juan Thornhill, going to call his own number on the first play of the game. Right up the middle. Nobody's going to catch him. He's across the 15. 10-5, touchdown, Juan Thornhill. First play of the game. We saw a lot of that last week, Oscar. We didn't expect it here tonight, but I think we knew it was possible, and Juan showed how possible it is.
Boy, you hate to say it. Deja vu all over again. First play from scrimmage, Colonels rip off a 42-yard run on a little bit quarterback delay. The center of the field was wide open. He got 5 yards downfield. It was obvious nobody was going to catch.
Sussex had a lot of guys out on the receivers. It looked like they matched up man-to-man on all the receivers. Great blocking up front. Juan went in between that gap there between Ashton Robinson and Ken Brumfield on the left side. And that's all he needed. Once he got past the D-line, it was all she wrote. Allen on for the extra point try. Looked like he pushed it to the right a little bit, and he did. Missed it. Kick is no good. Colonel still got a big lead, if you want to call it that, especially on the first play of the game. 6-0. Altavista leads. 9:55 to go on 105.5 KD Country.
Go Colonels. The Rehab Associates of Central Virginia congratulate the Altavista Colonels on a great season. Rehab Associates of Central Virginia with 9 convenient locations, giving you direct access without the need for referral. Rehab Associates of Central Virginia cheering on the Altavista Colonels throughout the playoffs. Let's go Colonels! Rehab Associates of Central Virginia and Hurt. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
First offensive play from scrimmage, the Colonels run, goes to the house. Juan Thornhill, long touchdown, Oscar. You said it, a lot like last week, deja vu all over again. Juan Thornhill, you don't give him a hole like that because he's really going to make you pay.
No, and let's give credit. You know, one of the questions that we had coming into this season was the offensive line.
Right.
We've seen them progressively get better and better and better throughout the year, and they've turned into a solid force and have allowed the Colonels to be as potent offensively as they have.
I couldn't have said it better myself. That O-line deserves a really big tip of the cap, particularly on that play. He ran right in between Ashton Robinson and Ken Brumfield, and they did a fantastic job. Allen on for a second kickoff of the game. This one will land on the 5-yard line, and Sussex will return. Going up right hash mark, return man lowered the shoulder. Got met by it looked like Donovan Montague. Number 4, Michael Jarrett was the ball carrier. I think Demetrius Johnson was in on the stop as well. Looked like number 6 out there roaming around on the kickoff team. They'll start on the 22-yard line, so field position not much better for Sussex this time around. They went 3 and out on their first chance, Oscar, and we'll see what they can do on the second one. I'm sure that Altavista D, led by their coordinator, Mr. Mike Revis, is going to be just as hungry this time around. Doesn't matter that they got a 6-0 lead.
Boy, Coach Revis has done a heck of a job all year long with this Colonel defense.
A little bit of a tighter formation. Sussex has got 2 wingbacks with the tight ends. They hand it to the tailback. Stuffed up. Looks like Churio Scott, number 1. Nothing there as he is run down. Thornhill came in late, but it looked like Clydell Moon and Destin Brown led the charge on that one as they stuffed him in the backfield. They'll say he got back to the line of scrimmage, but that might even be generous, Oscar.
Yeah, I would agree that it's generous because by the time he got within a yard of the line of scrimmage, he was stuffed, and I think he was stepped backwards. It's been a nice spot, but it still brings up 2nd and 10. Again, nice job by Revis diagnosing what this Sussex team is going to do.
Yep, same formation, a wingback, 2 tight ends. They're going to give it to the left side this time. It looked like number 4, Michael Jarrett, trying to go behind that left tackle and left tight end. He does pick up a small gain. Dante Poindexter there to fill the hole for the Altavista Colonels, and he got a hand as well. I'm going to bring up 3rd and about 7 for Sussex. 8:57 to play in the Apple Market first quarter. Colonels lead 6-0.
Looked like he had the opportunity to bounce outside. Navy Jones did a nice job of turning him back in to the where he had to cut back in and force him back in where he had help.
No wideouts again for Sussex. They go quick. Option play right here. It looks like the quarterback, number 7, DeQuandre Jones, will keep it himself. Not much over there on the left side. Navy Jones was there. Dante Poindexter was there. And, of course, number 11, Juan Thornhill was there as well.
Yeah, it looked like he broke a couple tackles. Looked like he was going to be able to get into first down territory, but absolutely didn't happen. They're going to mark it about the 27. Another 4th down situation. If they bring in the team to punt, it'll be another 3-and-out situation here. 2 consecutive here for the opening drives for Sussex.
Gotta love to see that if you're an Altavista Colonel fan. Back-to-back 3-and-outs. And, boy, that's an easy way to really get on a team. And they're going to go for it here. 4th and 4, so let's not speak too soon.
They're going to watch for the hard count.
Absolutely. Jones under center, low crouch. He wants to pass. He's got a decent pocket to throw from. Now he's flushed out, and he will get chased around. He's going to fire it up. Nobody home except Michi Malback. It's intercepted. Picked off by number 1, Michi Malback. He could have let it bounce and let it drop, and Altavista would have got a little bit better field position. But a nice play by Michi. I know he was thinking about returning it to the house for 6. Interception, Altavista will take over on the turnover.
Well, he was, and Michi knew. Michi knew as soon as he caught it and got out of bounds, he knew that he had made a mental mistake. But still, you tell a high school kid that's 17, 16 years old not to intercept the ball. It's
right.
So counterintuitive. Serves as a punt, but still, the Colonels take over at the 42-yard line.
It did serve as a punt, and really was actually longer than their first punt, really. 42-yard lines where Altavista will start again. Juan Thornhill went 42 on the first offensive play for the Colonels. Let's see if he can duplicate that. Coach Sharness changing the play at the line. It looks like as Juan looks over the defense. There's no deep safety, so that's a big reason why Juan Thornhill can take it to the house. They're going to run the same play, going to try right side. Juan shifting to his right, brought down this time after a 5-yard gain. Couldn't elude those linebackers quite like he did the first time. Still a good sizable pickup, though.
He came close. Nice block by Dustin Brown that was able to get him a little bit further downfield. Brings up 2nd and 5.
That was the old isolation play. They send Dustin Brown to one of those linebackers. That's the key block, and he really did throw a good one. Juan looking over the defense again. 2 wide receivers to each side this time. Dustin Brown will go directly behind Thornhill in the old pistol formation. Thornhill might have moved actually early. He went with the hard count, and Sussex did jump, Oscar, but boy, the way I saw Juan start forward like that, the officials, I think, are going to notice that and maybe call this against Altavista. We'll see. Shows what I know. They're going to call it against Sussex.
Boy, I'm really shocked because Juan actually, he did step up like he was making a count change to the center, so that may have been what saved him.
Yeah. Well, and that's true. You can go forward and be in motion as a back. You just can't be going forward in motion when the ball is snapped. So maybe you're right. Maybe that's how Juan got away with it. Same formation, 2nd and very short. We'll call it 2nd and a half a yard. Here comes the shotgun snap. He'll turn and hand it to Dustin Brown. Brown's got some room up the middle. He broke a tackle. Headed to the right sideline. Now he cuts it back. Great blocking out front. Touchdown, Dustin Brown. The Colonels are doing it again, Oscar.
Boy,
this
really
time
are.
It took 2 plays.
And, nice job by Dustin reading the block. I'm trying to see who that was out on the downfield as a receiver that continued to do the block, and it looked like it was Demetrius Jones. Demetrius Johnson, and that's who it was. Boy, what a great job of blocking downfield.
I saw it. He was just walking that cornerback down the field. The cornerback just continued to give ground. Dustin Brown read the block perfectly. He broke it inside, then he broke it outside, and then eventually he found himself in the end zone for 6 more points. 12-0. Here comes Walker Allen on the extra point try. Ball gets on the block. This one looks like a better kick. And it is. It's good. 13-0. Colonels lead. Dustin Brown taking it to the house with 6:43 to go in the first quarter. We're back in just a second on 105.5 KD Country.
Life happens. Divorce, family problems, criminal charges, civil litigation, personal injury cases. Turn to David W. Shreve, an experienced attorney at law. David W. Shreve has been practicing law for over 30-plus years. A free consultation for personal injury cases. Call today, 369-6621. That's 369-6621. David W. Shreve congratulates the Colonels football team, and good luck. Go Colonels. David W. Shreve, located on 7th Street in Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Well, 6 touchdowns in 7 plays last week. How about 2 touchdowns in 3 plays this week, Oscar? It's deja vu all over again.
Boy, it is, and you can't get any more efficient than that. And again, you got to give credit to the offensive line, not only the interior alignment, but, boy, the receivers continue to stay engaged with their blocks, block downfield. There were a couple of Sussex players that really got lost in that play looking for Dustin, totally lost. And, again, great job by Demetrius downfield, making that last block that was able to free Destin and get him in the end zone.
Yeah, Destin had to break 1 tackle there about, 2 or 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. After that, he got going full speed again. He really used those great blockers out on the outside, those receivers, like you said. Excellent stuff. And guys like Demetrius and Darius Johnson probably don't get enough credit for that, not as much as they deserve. Walker Allen on to try his 3rd kick of the game. This one's long, too. It'll land on about the 5-yard line. Looks like Pritchett again on the return. Jarrett on the return for Sussex, and he's got some room up the middle. Finally brought down. He broke it past the 30-yard line. He got it to around the 34. Dante Poindexter in on the stop. Also, Ty Woodruff there as well on the special teams. Decent return there for Sussex, and it'll certainly be their best starting field position of the game so far.
And that may have been a little bit of a weak spot last week for the Colonels.
Yeah.
As we did see a return for a touchdown, 87 yards. So, again, nice job being able to stop that. They take over at the 34-yard line.
Yep, Tyler Cofer down on the field right now for the Altavista Colonels. We got a chance, so let's mention our other sponsors, the people that are really the stars of the show and make it all possible. Rehab Associates, your choice for expert physical therapy with 9 different locations. One Stop Mart, your one stop for gas, food, and beverages. Highview Motors, from small to tall, Highview has it all. David W. Shreve, when life happens, turn to David W. Shreve, an experienced and licensed attorney. Perkins Twin Tire and Auto Service, your Michelin tire store in Altavista. Apple Market, serving you at their 3 fantastic Altavista locations, Gateway, Main Street, and Riverside. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, best deals on wheels there in Altavista on Main Street. Select Air, give Donnie a call today, 1580. Of course, it was the Subway pregame show. We didn't get to talk a whole lot about Subway, but we'll correct that in the halftime show. Subway halftime show will be good. I'll tell you all about the meal I had. You might have a special guest, too.
Yeah, you know, we once before we thought we had a special guest. I think I've got pretty much good confirmation that we will have a special guest here at halftime. Looking forward to talking to him, and I'm sure that the people in radio land will be looking forward to hearing it from him as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of our Colonel fans will, maybe they don't know this guy, but I think they'll definitely recognize the name anyway, so it'll be fun. Of course, you know, you got the streaming online audio brought to you by Walmart in Altavista. Doesn't matter if you're in Sussex or in Altavista or in Timbuktu, as I like to say, Oscar. You can hear the Colonels streaming live there at your radio or your smartphone. Some folks with their smartphones might have to download that TuneIn app, but that's not a bad thing to have anyway, because then you can listen to KD Country all the time. Kofer is hobbling off the field getting help. Looks like something with the leg or the ankle, but I won't speculate any more than that.
Certainly looks lower leg.
Yeah. Sussex moving back out onto the field now. They went over to the sideline there momentarily. They'll go with two wideouts this time, one tight end.
6:36 here remaining in the first quarter. Colonels lead 13-0 on 2 possessions.
I misspoke. They're actually in a shotgun spread formation. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Now one man shuffles over. Here comes the quarterback. He'll keep it himself on the option. No, he'll give it up on the option. Gives it to Cheerio Scott. Scott with a decent game, but he is brought down hard. Number 64, Ashton Robinson, getting off the pile. Big stop right there. He had some help. 6:22 remaining in the first quarter. 13-0 Colonel lead.
Yeah, and again, it's set up in that shotgun formation, and it's you know, this twin veer offense. It's you know, based on a lot of ball handling skills, sleight of hand, but nice job by the Colonels picking up both options on that play and not allowing.
Yep. DeQuandre Jones, number 7, is the quarterback, and he is a good one. He'll hand it off again this time, and this time the running back has some more room. Breaking into the defensive secondary, brought down by Donovan Montague. Thornhill helping out on the stop as well. That was Michael Jarrett, number 4. And he really hit that hole hard, Oscar. By far, Sussex's best offensive play of the night so far.
Gain of 13, and it is their first down of the evening.
They hadn't been able to really get by the Altavista D-line and linebackers. That time they got into the secondary. Montague had to run him down from behind. Thornhill got him from the front.
And again, you're going to see that type of gain against this Colonel's defense, that this twin veer is, you know, again, very deceptive. But Altavista was able to do this against Appomattox and keep them off the scoreboard.
That's right. Man in motion is number 4, Jarrett. Here comes the handoff. Actually, Jones is going to keep it himself. Driving ahead, Montague in on the stop again. This is a 5-yard pickup. He got it all the way to the 45-yard line. So the Sussex Central Tigers are in Colonel territory for the first time this evening.
Again, another nice job by the offensive line for Sussex on that play, and nice job of being able to keep the Colonels indecisive as to who had the ball.
And the Colonels running that 3-3 stack like they always do, 3-5, whatever you want to call it. Now they're going to put some more D linemen up there. They've tightened things up just a hair. Man in motion this time is Jarrett. Hard snap count. Here comes the flag out. I believe whistles have blown, but guys are still playing. Jarrett went back deep in motion, and then he started going forward, Oscar. So it was really kind of what we were talking about earlier with Thornhill, but they're going to call Sussex for it on this play.
Yeah, the took the player out of the slot, put him back. He ran back in motion, got in the backfield, and he was set about a yard behind the quarterback, and he jumped up about the time the ball was snapped. So really he was in motion. A little bit of an illegal shift. Brings up 2nd and 10.
Just for any fans that may be listening in Timbuktu, we hope it sounds good there. John Gruden, not the special guest. I'll rule him out, Oscar. We had some folks that thought about that. But, boy, there's some Gruden grinders out on this field right now. Some real people doing the work of the yeoman out there. 2nd and 10 for Sussex. Passing play. Jones has got a man on the slant. It's complete. Maulback can't bring him down. Navy Jones can't bring him down. Finally, the receiver is number 26, and that is not on my roster. So who is it, Oscar? Is it number 28 out there, possibly Tamon Davis on the grab?
Jones pass complete.
Difficult to see with these
I know.
jerseys.
1st and 10.
Let me tell you what I do know. Slant pattern there by the outside receiver, and the quarterback, DeQuandre Jones, hitting him in stride. And then Thornhill and Navy Jones really had a hard time bringing him down. Fresh set of downs here from the 21-yard line for Sussex Central. Left hash mark. Shotgun formation again. So they've gone away from the split back veer for right now anyway. Passing play again. Jones going to get rid of it. Hitch route, and it's complete. Left sideline. He gets it all the way across the 5, down to the 2-yard line. I'm thinking it's number 28, Tamon Jones again out there wide. On the grab.
Back-to-back pass plays, gains of 29 and a gain of 18 on that one. No question. We heard about a Jones arm.
Yep.
He's got one.
He does. We said split back veer team. A lot of times you think run heavy, but DeQuandre Jones can really flip the football around the field here. They're going to go from the shotgun again. First and goal from, we'll call it, the 4-yard line. Altavista's defense is really going to have to bend, but don't break here. Option play. They give it to the first man through it. Looks like number 18 was Sean Hoehne. Hoehne is stopped short. He might have picked up one before he was driven back. We'll see where the progress gets him.
He got right down inside the 1-yard line,
Yeah.
but a flag came flying in from the secondary. It's either a face mask or it's going to be a hold on Sussex, and they're talking to the Altavista player.
Yeah. Well, now you're going to call it a face mask. Maybe Altavista just wanted to know who it was on. So this is going to move Sussex that much closer. It's going to be one of those half-the-distance deals at this point. So I imagine this ball is going to be spotted around the 1 or maybe even inside of that. 3:51 remaining in the Apple Market first quarter. 13-0 Colonel lead, but Sussex knocking on the door trying to answer.
Boy, I think it's a great response by Sussex after really getting slapped in the face. You know, first 3 plays, 2 touchdowns. They have responded extremely well on this drive. And the Colonels have said that they were going to make them beat them on the ground or make them beat them through the air. Boy, they're doing a good job so far.
Comes a shotgun snap. Jones going to keep it himself. He had to dance around in the backfield. He stuck that football out. I don't know if the ball came out or not. Officials saying he was down. He dove for the end zone. He came up short, and the ball came out in the process. I think they're just going to say no gain here, and the ball is just going to go right back to where it was.
I mean, it's less than a foot. I mean, it's a foot or less from the goal line.
Boy, gutsy play there by DeQuandre Jones, the quarterback, because it wasn't like he went over the top. He went down low and tried to stick that football out, and that's dangerous.
Well, it is, especially against his Colonel's team. We saw him in a similar situation against Chatham. They actually nailed him and dropped him back. So
that's exactly right. Second and goal from the half-yard line. They'll try it again. QB sneak. Boy, I don't think Jones got a whole lot. He tried to go down low again. Touchdown is the signal from the far official, so he got enough. Boy, hard to see how that far guy could have seen that with all those bodies in there, but either way, it's a touchdown for Sussex Central. 13-6 is our score now. Everybody's still unpiling out there on the field. The officials signaled touchdown, but it doesn't look like anybody's really ready to set up for an extra point. Now they're going to move over and spot the ball for the where the extra point should be. So a little bit of confusion. Of course, we don't need any help with that. We're confused enough, Oscar. Looks like Sussex wants to go for 2. Ashton Robinson's checked in the game on the D-line. They are going for 2. Wide out to the left and a slot receiver. Same thing on the other side. Shotgun formation again. DeQuandre Jones has number 10, Dontre Boone, in the backfield with him. Jones wants to pass on the 2-point conversion. Had his man, but he dropped it. Boy, threw a bullet right there, and it was a short pass, hard to handle, so it goes incomplete. 2:48 to play in the Apple Market first quarter. Colonel's lead has been cut into. They're still up 13-6. Back in just a second on 105.5 KD Country.
The following is brought to you by English Construction Company.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Virginia are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
13-6. Colonels still lead, but Sussex has responded, and you said it even before they scored, Oscar. What a great response. I mean, Sussex had back-to-back 3-and-outs. They gave up back-to-back touchdowns. Kind of easy to pack it in at that point, but the Tigers are having none of that. Great answer right there.
8 plays, 66 yards. Took them 3 minutes and 48 seconds. Again, a very, very nice response. You had to feel like you were going to see that from this team tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that coming in, just the perseverance, the things they've had going on in the regular season. It's a well-coached ball club. You can tell that right away. And, man, great blocking up front. I mean, the Colonels' D-line really just was not a factor on that drive like they had been. Tigers ready to kick off now. And it will be a short kick. I don't know that it's an onside kick, but it's a squib, and it'll get fielded on the 40-yard line of the Altavista Colonels. Making the sliding stop over there was Donovan Montague.
Covered by Donovan Montague.
And a good job by him to cover it. Really didn't get greedy and try for a return. He just fell on it. Great field position. for the Altavista Colonels with 2:47 to go in the first.
And we were watching warm-ups, and one of the weaknesses that we did see was with the kicking game with Sussex. They didn't have anybody that could kick the ball really long. So, they're going to utilize this, and obviously they've scouted Colonels. You want to keep the ball away from Navy Jones and Meacham, all that.
Yeah, I mean, great call. They didn't go for the extra point. They went for the 2-point conversion, so that says a little bit right there about the strength of the kicking game for the Tigers. Looks like a 4-man front with 2 linebackers. Juan Thornhill wants to throw. Slant pattern. He's got Darius Johnson complete right at the 50-yard line. This is enough for a first down. Darius is finally stacked up and brought down on about the 48, but he'll get the forward progress. First down yardage. Great throw by Juan Thornhill, who, as you and I and Coach Sharness and probably everybody has noted, Oscar, really second half of the season, his passing game has come a long way. Juan Thornhill a lot more comfortable back there throwing the ball.
Yeah, and I actually thought they were going to throw that little wide receiver screen over here to Meachie. I think that Sussex thought that as well, because on the slant, Johnson was wide open. Nice job.
Yeah, really good pass, too, to get it to him, and a nice grab by Johnson. 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers. Moon looks like he's in the backfield with Juan Thornhill. Juan will fake it. No, he'll give it to Clydell Moon. Moon pushing some guys out of the way. One of them was his own guy, tripped up kind of on that lineman that he was pushing out of the way, and falls forward ahead to the 45. Good solid 5 or 6 yard pickup there, though, but it could have been a lot more if Clydell could have kept his feet.
That's Clydell's first carry of the night, picks up 6.
13-6, Altavista in the lead. Coach Sharness talked about Clydell Moon in the pregame interview. He's a high-energy guy. He's always excited, whatever it is, offense, defense, special teams, practice, games. Doesn't matter. Clydell just wants to be out there on the football field, and he's right behind Juan Thornhill in the pistol formation now. 1 tight end again. He'll give it to Clydell again. Has to dodge one guy. Spin move there. Ball almost got ripped out, but Clydell was able to hold on. He's about a yard short of the first down marker. Colonels will need to get to the Sussex 40-yard line. This ball spotted on the 41. Minute and a half to go in the first quarter now.
I think you got to watch for a couple things here.
Yep.
I think you'll watch for the hard count, and then looks like they're going to use Clydell as a workhorse right now.
I would think so. Back-to-back carries to Clydell. We'll see if they give it to him again. He goes into pistol formation again. Just need 1 yard for a fresh set of downs. Here comes the 3rd down snap. Option play to the right. Thornhill thought about pitching it, kept it. He fights forward for the first down. Boy, he was stopped about a yard in the backfield, Oscar, so he had to fight for about a full 2 yards to get the first down yardage, and it looks like he has done just that.
Well, they're actually going to mark that ball a little bit short. They're calling it 4th down.
Wow. Man, I thought for sure he was well across that first down marker. And look at where the ball's spotted. I mean, seems like one, you might bring the chains out and measure. Nothing yet, and I think Coach Sharness is a little baffled by that, too. A coach can ask for a measurement. Sort of like asking the first base umpire, did he go around? Doesn't mean that they're going to give you one, but you can ask for it. See if Thornhill gets under center. Goes for the sneak. He does. 1 tight end again. Snaps it. Wow, delay getting out of there. Somebody from Altavista either moved early or moved late, because Juan Thornhill was in the backfield for a long time there on that sneak. I think this is going to be a false start on the Colonels, Oscar.
Yeah, I think it is, and it may have been it's on the center.
Yeah, it just looked weird. I think you're right. I think the other 4 linemen moved. The center held on to the ball. Then he realized everybody was moving, snapped it late. Going to make it 4th and 5. Looks like the Colonels are going to keep the offense out there and go for it. It's from the Sussex 45-yard line, so you could conceivably punt and try and pin them deep, but I don't think this is a bad call at all here. Thornhill looking over the defense. Few last-minute instructions. 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end. The tight end looks like it's Demetrius Johnson. Here comes a shotgun snap. Moon still in the backfield with Juan Thornhill. Juan trying the hard count. Defense did not bite, and now Coach Sharness will call a timeout. They were trying to jump him off sides. Sussex D-line held firm. We'll take a timeout with them. 30-second variety with 6.5 to go here in the first quarter. Colonels lead 13-6 on 105.5 KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch and Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
13-6, Colonels lead 4th and 5 on the way. Don't know if they're going to punt or go for it just yet, Oscar. But, boy, we talked about it. Disciplined ball club on that other sideline for Sussex Central.
Yeah, it was. Nice job by them. Obviously, they've scouted the Colonels well and know
Yeah.
that the Colonels are very adept at getting that encroachment call. We'll have to see. I don't see Walker Allen on the field right now, so it looks like the Colonels will go for it.
Yeah, I agree with you. It looks like he is on the field now. He's just hiding back there. He'll go back deep. Boy, Colonels haven't run a fake punt all year. This would be an interesting time to try one. Certainly field position-wise, it's not a bad place to try it. And you got Juan Thornhill as the up back on this punt unit, Oscar, so I don't know.
Well, you
That
got
could be a
Malbeck and
key.
Jones down on the sideline. You're not going to see any funny business.
Well, that's a good point. Let's see what Walker Allen can do on the kick. 4th and 5. Looks like Michael Jarrett back deep for the Sussex Central Tigers. His heels are on about the 17-yard line. They do snap it to Walker Allen. He'll kick it away. It's a pretty darn good kick. High hanging. Jarrett will not be able to return it. It's going to bounce out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. What a kick by Walker Allen on the punt right there. And he's going to get some big high fives and congratulations when he comes back. We mentioned he's a weapon in the kicking game. How about a weapon in the punting game, too?
Yeah, it is, and that brings the first quarter to a close.
Yep.
Colonels lead 13-6, Kyle.
Sussex will start the second quarter in the shadow of their own goalpost. 32nd timeout here. Colonels lead 13-6 on 105.5 KD Country. Crowd at English Stadium, I think, has fully arrived, Oscar. They were late arriving there for a moment, but Altavista's got a good fan support, good cheering section over here. Sussex brought some fans of their own. They even brought the band with them, too. So Sussex excited about the journey tonight.
Well, they were, and again, with the 7-4 team, and they've seen this Altavista Colonel team before a couple years ago. They knew this was going to be a competitive ball game. About a 3.5-4 hour drive, 3.5 hour drive down. The team, of course, rode on a charter bus, and but again, nice representation from Sussex tonight.
Yeah, they, we've mentioned it before in this ball game tonight. It's a team with a lot of tradition, a lot of history. They're a team that's been in the playoffs a bunch. I think they won a state championship in 03 or 04. It's been a while, but it's not the ancient history by any means. And we already talked about a well-disciplined ball club. And really, a fun team to watch. They got a lot of different guys carrying the ball back there. DeQuandre Jones is a very good quarterback. So it's been a fun game thus far in the first quarter. I'm sure the other quarters will be the same. Handoff this time goes to the first man through. I want to say it was Michael Jarrett again. Now it looked like it was number 10, Dontre Boone. Boone didn't pick up a whole lot.
Dante Poindexter on that stop. Nice job. They're going to give him a game of. They're going to give it a game of 2. Generous spot.
Yeah, almost 2.5 now when they finally set that stick down. 11:36 to go in the Apple Market second quarter. 3 great locations: Main Street, Gateway, and Riverside. There's always one close by. Sussex going right to left now on their offensive set. Shotgun formation again. Jones wants to pass. Bullet passed out to the right, and it's caught complete on the hitch route. Michi Malbeck will bring the receiver down on the tackle.
Jones to Parham.
And it is number 5, Isaiah Parham, there on the grab. Good, crisp route running by the Sussex receivers, Oscar. And boy, Jones can throw that little 10-yard hitch pretty good.
Yes, he can. Brings up a first down. And like I said, the Colonels said they were going to stop the run and make them beat him through the air. Jones is very capable of throwing that ball.
He's already in the shotgun. He just takes that little 1 or 2 step drop. He wants to pass again. Throwing the slant again. He had Parham there on the outside. Incomplete. He was actually going more so on the post route over the middle. Good throw again. It was a little bit high, and again, a little bit hot to handle. I mean, DeQuandre Jones, I want to know what he throws from the baseball mound there, because I imagine he's got a pretty good arm.
Well, he does, and if he takes a little bit off that pass and puts a little bit more air on it, the receiver was open, had about a 7-8 yard cushion.
Yep.
It's a catch, and then some significant yardage after the catch.
2nd and 10 from the 16-yard line. Jones wants to pass again. Pump fake. Now he's looking deep. Ball goes up. Juan Thornhill had his hands on it. And really about the only, I'll say, bad pass that Jones has thrown so far tonight. Just a little too far out of Juan's grasp. It falls incomplete, and it will bring up 3rd and 10 for Sussex.
And I tell you, Juan got his hand on it, but I believe he was surprised that the ball got to him as quickly as it was.
Yeah. Little mini pump fake by Jones might have froze somebody. Thornhill was still there back deep. And, yeah, that ball got out in a hurry. DeQuandre Jones, probably the best arm we've seen all year anyway.
Next to Donovan Montague.
Good point. Good point. Here comes the shotgun snap again. Quick throw this time, and it's low. Jones had to hurry. Let's see who that was in the backfield causing the pressure. It's Clydell Moon getting in the backfield causing pressure. He came on a stunt, blitzed right through that hole, and Jones had to throw it a lot sooner than he wanted to. Pass fell incomplete. It's a stop by the Altavista defense. Punt team coming out for Sussex. They'll kick it away.
Still relatively deep in their own territory at the 17-yard line. Well, should get good field position.
And it all gets back to the field position game there. Walker Allen really with the great punt to pin Sussex back deep to end the first quarter. 10:54 here to go in the second quarter. Here comes a long snap. It's a decent one. Kick gets away, and it's a lot better. Michi Malback will field on the fly at the 45-yard line. Starts up the middle. Now he wants to go outside. He's got some decent blocking. What a pancake block by Demetrius Johnson. Michi Malback across the 20. Cuts it back in. Big block by Destin Brown. Touchdown. Michi Malback on the punt return.
Are you kidding?
And, boy, how many guys did you see get leveled out there by Altavista blockers, Oscar? There is a flag down. It came down pretty late, though. Let's see what this is.
I'm going to tell you right now, if they call this on Destin Brown, that's a terrible call. That's a terrible, terrible call. The Destin Brown block was clean.
Wow. Well, Demetrius Johnson flattened the guy with a pancake. Michi took it outside, and he saw Destin Brown was there setting up a block for him. And Destin Brown threw a monster block. Michi just sort of sidestepped the guy that was laying on the ground, then took it to the house. But it's all for naught. It's going to come back. The flag came out on about the 10. There were two Colonels there. I'm with you, Oscar. I think the Destin Brown block was clean. I think it might have been somebody else, but hard to say who. Bottom line is Colonels are going to start with great field position again, wipe the touchdown off, but with the explosive nature of how that play went, I wouldn't be shocked to see the Colonels score on this very next play. They're going to snap this one right hash mark from the Sussex 23-yard line. Shotgun formation, 3 wide receivers to the right for Juan Thornhill. A little bit of a high snap. He gets it to Destin Brown. Brown got tripped up. It falls across the 19-yard line. Brown had a big hole there, but somebody just stepped on his ankle there. And definition of a shoestring tackle. They didn't grab at it with their hand, but they stepped on the shoestring, and it brought Destin Brown.
No, and if they don't stop him, he's gone. I mean, you're right. That was a shoestring ankle grab tackle, and if they don't get him with that little tackle, he stumbled forward. But if he was able to regain his balance, he would have been to the house.
Another solid hole opened up by that O-line. That was the left side of the O-line again. Brown will move over behind Juan Thornhill. 2nd and 6 on the way from the 19-yard line. 10:03 to play. Colonels lead 13-6. Thornhill taking his time. Now he gets into the crouch. Shotgun snap is waist high. Juan wants to keep it himself. Breaking it outside. He's going up left sideline. Dragged down from behind. Good tackle right there to get a hold of Juan's waist and bring him down. It looked like number 4. Michael Jarrett on the stop for the Sussex Tigers. It's going to be enough for first down yardage. Juan looks like he almost got it to the 10-yard line. They'll actually snap this on about the 12-yard line, so the Colonels can get a first down without getting a touchdown.
Both these teams like to go quickly on the offensive side, too. It's fun to watch.
It really is. You took the words right out of my mouth. It's fun to watch. It's a great ball game out here so far. Let's see if it stays this close and this competitive. Juan getting the play into the offensive lineman. Now he gets Demetrius Johnson some extra words of instruction there. One tight end. Juan wants to throw. He's looking right, looking for Malback. Pump fake. Michi going to the back of the end zone. He catches it, but he can't bring it down inbounds. Michi a full 2 or 3 yards out of bounds when he finally caught it. Great effort by Michi to sky up there and grab it. And I don't think you're upset with that throw by Juan Thornhill because you know it can't get intercepted out of bounds, so it's a good high percentage play to try and get it to the back of the end zone.
Yeah, a little bit difficult situation. Michi's not quite as tall as a defender, and he did nice pump fake by Juan, throws the defender, but there just wasn't that much room for Michi to get behind the defender on that play.
Good pocket to throw from. Juan really stepped into that throw as well. Juan's great throwing on the run, but he's getting a lot better throwing from that pocket as well. 2 wide receivers each side. Destin Brown in the backfield. 2nd and 10 on the way here from the 12-yard line. Juan fakes it to Destin. Now he wants to break it outside. He's got some room. Little head fake. He's headed to the pylon. Touchdown. Juan Thornhill does it again. 12 yards out. Excellent running by Juan Thornhill. Donovan Montague out there on the outside blocking as well, Oscar. 6 more points for the Altavista Colonels as they're really starting to impose their will now.
the fireworks here are new for the Colonels, and it's kind of neat to see. Again, another impressive drive by the Colonels. They got over in great field position after the great punt return from Michi Malbec. And Colonels are up 19-0. Extra point could drive it. 19-6. Could lead it 20-6.
9:10 to play in the Apple Market second quarter. Thornhill to hold. Walker Allen to kick. Snaps a little low. Juan got it to the block, and it looks like Walker got enough leg on it. It is good. 20-6. Colonels starting to stretch that lead out. 9:10 to go in the second quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
When you need gas or hungry for the best fried chicken around, One Stop Mart is your one-stop shop. Congratulations, Altavista Colonels, on a great season and making it to the football playoffs. Remember, One Stop Mart has all your convenience items, gas, beverages, and deli specials with home-cooked food, fast and hometown service. One Stop Mart, Main Street, Altavista. Go Colonels!
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
With 9:10 here remaining in the second quarter, Colonels lead 20-6. Some quick stats. The Colonels with 121 yards of offense so far. Sussex with 104. So really not that big a discrepancy when you talk about total yards. You got Juan Thornhill with 66 yards on the ground, Dustin Brown with 36, and Claudel with 9. So, nice distribution.
Yeah.
A 10-yard pass to Johnson. Again, nice distribution, getting all the weapons involved. We haven't seen Michi really get the ball on the offensive side yet. Nice return. You hadn't seen Navy Jones, so still got some weapons to be shown here.
Yeah, I got a feeling those guys are going to get theirs in just a little bit here. Probably the next time the Colonels get the ball. Altavista really added again on offense, and Thornhill added again, too, with the 12-yard touchdown run there. He was looking just off that right tackle, then he decided to bounce it outside. Little head and shoulder fake, froze one defender. And he was able to just sneak it in the pylon behind the cornerback there. Walker Allen on the kickoff. And he'll boot this one away. Another good driving kick. This is going to land on about the 6-yard line. One of the up guys got it for Sussex. Deep man didn't field it, and this up guy's got it around the right sideline. He's beat a few guys. Walker Allen trying to make the stop. Couldn't. Finally, he gets run down from behind. There is a flag on the play.
And it's back at about the 24-yard line.
Yeah, it's probably, that's away from the ball, too. I'm going to say it's a block in the back or a hold. That's what it usually is on these kick return plays. To me, it looked like number 5, Isaiah Parham there, racing it down the field. Like I said, he wasn't the deep man. He was one of those up guys on about the 20-yard line, but he ran back and fielded it, and he made it into a very nice return. But this illegal block or whatever it is going to send them back.
Coach Revis was out on the field relatively quickly. He knew what it was.
That was a block in the back on Sussex Central. We finally got the official word from the official. Said official too many times in one sentence. 9:01 to play in the Apple Market second quarter. Subway halftime show on the way after us is going to be a whole lot of fun. Special guests probably, and plenty to talk about. Sussex will scrimmage this one, 15-yard line, middle of the field after the penalty. Shotgun formation again. Man in motion is number 6. They'll hand it off to him. Starts up. Nice run off right tackle there. Thornhill. That was actually Darius Johnson in on the stop. Number 6 is just Jason Flowers there on the carry. And he had a good head of steam going.
Gain of 6 on that play. Nice job. Actually brought him in from outside from in motion and was able to get the ball to him.
Yeah, we used to see Altavista run that play a little bit more with the slot receiver in motion, and then they'll turn it into really an off-tackle play, almost an inside run. 3 wide receivers to the right. Jones wants to throw. He swings it out there to number 26. It's complete across the first down marker, across the 30. Brought down. Thornhill got his shoestrings, and then somebody cleaned him up. That's that number 26 again without a, not on the jersey. Or maybe it's 28 or 25. I don't know. Is my vision that bad, or did it look like 26 to you?
It is 26.
Okay. Good. I'm glad it's, not going crazy. And the vision checks out as well.
Well, and that little play was that little wide receiver screen that the Colonels run.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of the same plays when Sussex goes to the shotgun, and really they haven't been in that under-center split-back veer in a while. The shotgun has been working out a lot better for him. Here comes the shotgun snap again. Handoff goes to number 16, and that is Tyrese Chambliss, I think. Or is it number 10, Dontre Boone? Either way, it's a 5-yard pickup for Sussex. Good hard hitting there. Looked like Darius Johnson in on the stop. 7:40 to go here in the second quarter. 20-6. Sussex trailing, but they're driving. They started this drive from the 15-yard line. They've marched it out here. They're on their own 38-yard line. Boone is in the backfield with DeQuandre Jones, the quarterback. 3 wide receivers each side. Going to get a timeout. Sussex Central didn't like the looks of things. We'll take it with them. 30-second timeout here with the Colonels up 20-6 on 105.5 KD Country.
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
51 years of outstanding high school sports coverage on 105.5 KD Country. Second round of Division I playoffs. Some other area games going on. Dan River and Appomattox from the Dogwood are playing. I think just Heritage from the Seminole District playing, Oscar. So not as many local games really as I think local fans would like there to be. But we got a good one here tonight. So what do you need those other games for?
Yeah, obviously you want to see Appomattox. You want to see them in Dan River. You want to see those teams win.
Like to see the Colonels win. They're looking in good shape right now, 20-6. Sussex has certainly shown a great amount of potential here. Man in motion is Pritchett. They hand it to him. He's got first down yardage across the 42. That's where he needed to get. All the way to the 44-yard line, brought down by Clydell Moon. Moon also helping up number 10, Darius Johnson. They combined on that stop. It is enough to move the change, though, for Sussex as they are sort of matriculating the ball down the field, as I like to say, Oscar.
Yeah, that's well put. And, once again, we're seeing this big, heavy front line start to really push the Colonels around a little bit.
We mentioned they had some size. The Altavista Colonels have got some bigger guys they can throw in. Right now, Ashton Robinson looks like he's in at the nose guard spot. Shotgun snap again. Jones wants to throw. Looking deep. Boy, great spiral down the field. Man racing after it. It'll fall incomplete. Malbeck was in coverage. But, man, what an excellent throw all the way across the field to the far sideline by Jones. He just overthrew it.
It was far side, and it was 50 yards, Kyle, in the air. So, nice throw, nice tight spiral, just out through his receiver.
Second and 10 will be the down and distance on the way here. Sussex huddling up about 10 yards deep. They break the huddle. 6:53 when this ball will get snapped. 20-6 lead for the Altavista Colonels. Colonels with the 3 down linemen. Looks like Moon showing blitz from the outside. They'll put number 6 in motion. They'll fake it to him. Jones wants to keep it himself. Navy Jones will make the stop. Clydell Moon also there. Solid 5-yard pickup. It'll get dropped right there at the 50-yard line. That was DeQuandre Jones, the quarterback, on the keeper.
And really, I like the way that Sussex is running the ball. I mean, they showed a lot of success that one drive where they threw the ball. I think they got a little bit impatient on this last drive where they threw it 3 consecutive downs in a row. Mixing it up, they're showing the ability to run. The last 4 yards have been 6, 5, 7, and 6 yards. So they've been able to move the ball on the ground.
Yep. Solid play selection and balance for Sussex with the run and the pass. Here comes Jones again. He wants to throw. Whistles are going to blow this dead. Flag comes out. I think it's on Sussex, and it'll back them up. It'll make it about 3rd and 9 when they finally re-spot the football. They are backing up. 6:10 to go in the first half. 20-6. Starting to rain a little bit here at English Stadium. They were calling for it. This happened last week a little bit where it rained for, 15, 20 minutes or so there, Oscar. I don't know if this will be a type of a rain that would really affect play, but you do see some umbrellas coming out, so it must be a little bit of a significant precipitation.
Well, it is, and the good thing about us being home at Altavista is it doesn't rain in the press box.
That's exactly right, yeah. We got the best setup in town here at the friendly confines of English Stadium. 3 wide receivers to the right for Jones. He's looking over the defense. Looks like Boone in the backfield with him. Wants to pass again. Good pocket to throw from. Got a man on the slant across the middle. Clydell Moon couldn't make the tackle. Destin Brown trying to make the tackle. Then the rest of the team gets in there. Looks like he hit number 6, Jason Flowers, I think, on the slant route over the middle. It's enough for a first down. They get it all the way to the 40-yard line. 15-yard pickup for the Sussex Central Tigers. And, boy, this team is really moving the ball down the field, Oscar.
They do that little deception, little delay, fake handoff, play action, and it's really freezing that linebacking core for the Colonels. And the Sussex is getting into the secondary, and Jones is having no issue finding the receiver.
None at all. Shotgun formation again, 2 to each side. Man in motion is Flowers. They'll hand it off to him. He's going off right tackle. Got a good head of steam, and then he's met by the entire Colonel team. Football came out. The football came out. Let's see what the officials say. No signal just yet. And there's still not going to be a signal, which makes me believe that, no, they do signal. Colonel football. Colonel football on the turnover. It came out late, Oscar. You saw some guys dive in there. I saw Moon dive in there late. I don't know if he was the one that grabbed it or not. But, boy, this is big. A fumble and a turnover. And Altavista has stopped that Sussex Central drive in its tracks, and they've got the football back to show for it.
Yeah, and there's a player down for Sussex, obviously at the bottom of that pile.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that. He's getting some attention from both sides right now.
It was not Flowers. Flowers was the ball carrier. It's not him. I see him over there in the huddle. Don't know who it is. We'll step aside for a 30-second timeout as with the injury going on. It may take a little bit here. 4:55 to play here in the first half. Colonels lead 20-6, and they got the football back on a fumble. Hear about it all when you come back on 105.5 KD Country.
Man, it's cold in here. What's wrong with your heater?
Well, it used to work pretty good.
Back in the 90s, just call Select Air and get it fixed.
Oh, it'll probably cost a lot of money.
No, it won't, because Donnie will give you a fair price and get it done right the first time.
Maybe I'll call Select Air tomorrow.
No, you will call Select Air today, because it's freezing in here.
Select Air, 841-1580. 841-1580. Online at selectair.webs.com. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Man, still down on the field here for Sussex Central. Boy, the Tigers had a big, big drive going on. They started it from their own 15-yard line, worked it all the way down here to the Altavista 40-yard line, then a fumble on a running play where they picked up some yards. Altavista really tenacious and stayed after it. But now they got a man down on the field. Like I said, I don't think it was the ball carrier, Oscar, but, boy, when those fumbles happen and guys start diving in there like that, you're diving in there helmet first. You get a lot of shoulder injuries, and then it's just it's one of the more dangerous plays in football when everybody starts diving after that loose ball.
You're exactly right. And like you said, helmet to helmet, helmet to shoulder pad, helmet to knees.
Yeah.
All kind of stuff goes on at the bottom of those piles, and you hate to see that.
Yeah, man still down on the field. We'll keep it here, and we'll talk a little bit, take another timeout if we need to. Altavista sort of in a makeshift huddle over here on the near sideline. Colonels are going to get the ball back on their own 36. That's where they will start this one from. 4:55 to go in the second quarter when they snap the football. Apple Markets is a second quarter sponsor and a proud supporter of the Altavista Colonels and high school football fans everywhere. And of course, 3 great locations. There's always one close by in Altavista. 20-6, it's a Colonel lead. Juan Thornhill ran a 12-yard touchdown in most recently for the Altavista Colonels. He scored on their first offensive play as well. That was the 42-yarder, I think. And then Destin Brown has the other touchdown, correct?
That's, you've got pretty good distribution from the Colonels. 66 yards rushing by Juan, 36 by Destin, and then 9 yards from Clydell. Clydell's really only has 2 carries. Those things they'll balance out. Historically, they kind of use Destin early in the game, early and often.
Yeah.
Clydell, boy, he can be punishing in the second half with fresh legs.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's the great thing about having so many offensive weapons like the Colonels do. Whether it's Clydell Moon, whether it's Destin Brown, Michie Malbeck, Navy Jones, the list goes on. You really, yeah, exactly. You don't have to overwork any one guy. I mean, I know there's something to be said for having that workhorse, but I like having fresh legs in the third, fourth quarter. Man, finally up now for Sussex Central. It is number 8, Tyrone Hill. Maybe it's Tyrone Hill. Either way, we're glad to see him up and moving around. And then it looks like we'll just keep it here as play should pick up here any moment. Once again, 4:55 to go here in the Apple Market second quarter. 20-6 is our score. Colonels lead. They went up 13-0. Sussex Central answered And then the Colonels answered again after that with the Thornhill touchdown.
Yeah, they did. And don't forget, Colonel fans, coming up in the halftime, special guest.
Yep. That's going to be fun. And I'll tell you, Oscar, we hadn't even mentioned the volleyball team yet for Altavista. They won in the state semifinal today, so they're playing for another state championship tomorrow. We'll talk about that at halftime a little bit as well. Shotgun snap. Thornhill wants to pass. He's got Demichi Malback on the right sideline. Malback trying to run out of some traffic, And I think it's going to go as a loss here as Michi sort of went backwards trying to make something happen. Never could get it going in first gear again, and now Michi kind of hobbling off the field a little bit. Loss of 4.5 or 5, we'll call it. Just a quick little spot pass. Michi just never really could get by that first cornerback.
I don't know if there was a missed assignment out on the edge and one of the receivers wasn't able to get the block, but Michi was left bare 1-on-2.
Yep.
Didn't have much of a chance.
Now even Michi, the magician that he is, doesn't have a whole lot of opportunity there. Thornhill wants to throw again. Slant pass. He's got Darius Johnson complete. Johnson stuck hard. Shakes out a one tackle, but he can't beat the second and the third guy. Great pass there. I want to say Darius got it to about the 40-yard line, but then got driven back a little bit, so they're actually going to spot this on the 38. Not the best spot in the world for the Colonels. 3:55 to go in the first half.
Did get back to a little bit past the original line of scrimmage, so it's going to bring up 3rd and 9.
Good slant pass there. Thornhill to Johnson. We've seen both teams use that slant pass and complete it. Tough to defend when the receiver runs that good hard route like that. And with quarterbacks that can throw it around like this, it makes it even tougher to defend. Thornhill's got 2 receivers to each side. Clydell Moon in the backfield to his left. A lot of guys stacked up on the D-line for Sussex Central. Just one linebacker about 7 yards deep. There's nobody else. Man in motion is Donovan Montague. They fake it to him. Thornhill going up the middle with a hole. He's across the 45, across the 50. He's across the other 40, headed to the left sideline. Nobody will catch. Juan Thornhill, touchdown, Altavista. Oh, man, Oscar. I saw the way that defense was lined up with just the one linebacker, and I knew that could be trouble for Sussex because Juan Thornhill made him miss, and he was gone.
And again, let's give credit to the offensive line.
Yep.
Let's give credit to the play call because when Donovan Montague went in motion, the flow went. The linebackers followed Donovan, the little fake handoff, and it was wide open.
Yeah, Donovan really running hard and sold that play fake there. Excellent. Good job by Juan Thornhill sticking it in and selling the play fake on his part. Boy, Juan is just pretty incredible. We'll call that a 58-yard touchdown, I think.
63. But
yeah, that's what I meant. Maybe I flunked Math 101. Remember, 63-yarder. Allen on to try the extra point again. This one is up. This one is good. Colonels start to stretch the lead out. They lead 27-6. 3:14 to play in the first half here on 105.5 KD Country.
This week's specials from your Apple Market's convenience stores. Get an 8-piece fried chicken box for only $6.99 from 4 to 8 p.m. every day and all day Sunday. Warm up with any size coffee or cappuccino for just 99 cents. Get a case of Coke at the special price of $6.99 now at Apple Market locations, Riverside, Gateway, and Main Street in Altavista. Check out the Apple Market Holiday Feast, including 10-pound boneless turkey or ham, 2 large size, a dozen rolls, and a whole pie. Pre-order at Main Street or Riverside Apple Market. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
27-6, Altavista leads. Oscar, Juan Thornhill at it again, doing what he does best.
3 plays, 63 yards. Of course, that last play was a 63-yard touchdown by Juan Thornhill, set up by the little delay, fake handoff to Donovan Montague. It froze. Linebackers went, kind of followed Donovan, and again, that offensive line with a little trap block was able to blow up in a hole. And you get Juan into the secondary, and there are not many players in the state that are going to catch him.
Yeah, Juan just really, in addition to the speed that he has, he just understands those angles, and he knows, which guys have a chance at catching him, which guys don't. And he just runs away from the guys that do have a chance of catching him. And, boy, when he needs to, he can put some moves on you, or he can lower his shoulder. He really is the complete package as far as a ball carrier goes. Second rushing touchdown of the evening. Walker Allen on to kick it off. Again, and the game's starting to slip away from Sussex Central. Let's see if they can respond here. Remember, that's points off of a turnover, too. The Altavista defense knocked the football loose. Colonel's trying to knock it loose again here on the kickoff. Return man was Michael Jarrett. Jarrett didn't get a whole lot. He had a hard time going there to pick it up. Clydell Moon was the first guy that slowed him down. Then the cavalry came in.
Yeah, and it's interesting to watch the demeanor of the Altavista players. Clydell Moon grabbed him around the 13-yard line, had him held up, and He kind of slipped away from him, and you know, Clydell was disgusted with himself that he let the guy get an extra 4 yards, and that just speaks to the drive that these kids have.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Clydell wanted to play it perfectly. He played it pretty doggone good just by slowing down the ball carrier, but you mentioned it. He wanted to make that solo tackle. And that does say a lot about him and the team in general. Shotgun formation for Sussex Central. They really need to respond. Man in motion there. They'll hand it to number 10. I think that's Dontre Boone. Boone, not a whole lot on the left side. Stuffed up by Darius Johnson. Clydell Moon was over there as well.
Dustin Brown in on that tackle as well. They're going to give him a gain of 3, which, again, I think is a generous spot, but that's just me.
Haven't seen Johnson and Johnson link up in the backfield. The brothers Johnson, as we call them. Haven't seen them link up in the opponent's backfield here tonight. Watch for that, especially if it's a passing play for Sussex Central. But I tell you, Sussex Central O-line really gives DeQuandre Jones a lot of time to throw back there, Oscar.
And with 2:35 clock remaining to run here left in the second quarter, Colonels lead 27-6. You got to wonder if Coach Starnes might start to use some timeouts if they can start to get a stop on this play.
Yep, illegal shift or man in motion, I'm guessing again for Sussex. Yep, it'll go against the Tigers. Back them up, make it about 2nd and 12 now after the penalty. 2:26 remaining in the first half. Subway halftime show on the way. Colonels lead 27-6.
20 yards penalties against Sussex. They're starting to add up, and you add in those 2 turnovers. Both of those turnovers led to Colonel scores.
Yeah, turnovers really the big thing that'll hurt you, particularly in high school football. They put a man in motion and send him right back. Running play, they give it to Boone. Flag's going to come out again. Boone didn't get a whole lot. He might have got it back to the original line of scrimmage, but nothing else.
Had a player in the backfield that came out to the wide receiver spot to take that spot, and he never got set.
Yeah. Yeah, they will call it on Sussex. Actually, Altavista is going to decline that penalty. And it'll make it 3rd and 11. 2:01 to play here. Boy, if the Colonels, Oscar, could get the football back in this half, you know they'd attempt to score, and I'd say that they might have a pretty good chance at scoring. Depending on where they get the football back, clock will be under 1:45 in the half when it's finally snapped by Sussex. Shotgun formation on the way for the Tigers. 11:38 now. 2 wide receivers each side. Jones looking over the defense. Shotgun snap on the way. He hands it off to number 4. That's Michael Jarrett. Jarrett's broken it, and he might be gone. He's down left sideline. Darius Johnson going to try and catch him. I don't think he is. Across the 20, 15, 10. Touchdown, Sussex Central on the long touchdown run there. It was 3rd and 12. Got enough for first down yardage, and they got more than that, Oscar. Sussex Central fighting to get back in this game. Long touchdown run there by Michael Jarrett.
83-yard score. Nice run by Jarrett.
Colonels, defensively their alignment didn't look bad. Missed a tackle at the line of scrimmage there. And really Michael Jarrett with his speed did most of the damage after he broke that line of scrimmage there. Looks like they're going to go for 2. They went for 2 on their last touchdown. And DeQuandre Jones ran over to the sideline to get the play. Now he's back in the huddle. 1:21 to go in the half. So the Colonels will still have some time when they get the football back after the kickoff. Remember, Colonels get the ball in the second half as well. Looks like Sussex Central going to come out under center. 2 split backs and then a wing over there. Jones looking over the defense. Tight splits this time for the O-line. He's in his low crouch. He'll toss it to number 10. Now here comes the reverse. 10 handed it off. Altavista not falling for it. Interesting design on the play there, but Destin Brown snuffed it out with the penetration. 27-12. Colonels still lead, but the lead's been cut into. 1:21 to play left in the first half, and we come back on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista High School football is brought to you by Steve Farmer Auto Sales. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, where there's always a good selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. And they're priced right, with financing available. See Steve Farmer Auto Sales, 1112 Main Street, Altavista. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, best deals on wheels.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
1:21 to play in the half. Oscar, Sussex fighting back. Subway halftime show. We'll get to talk about this potential comeback by Sussex, and we can finally confirm that our special guest will be on.
Yeah, we had Mr. Poindexter. Anthony Poindexter was scheduled to be with us at Rustburg. He bailed on us. So if you're listening, Anthony, you owe us one.
Somehow I think he might not be. Here comes the kickoff. And the Colonels will field it. Clydell Moon's going to take it from the right hash mark, and he's going far now. He's going to take it to the far sideline across the 50. Fighting his way through some tackles. Great return right there. Dragged down at the 45-yard line into Sussex territory there. Moon, we mentioned he's a high-energy guy, showing it off right there. Fielded that ball on about the 40, and I think Sussex maybe thought he was just going to try and drop down to a knee. But Clydell Moon said, I'll take off with this football.
Well, the thing with Colonels is when you talk about their upbacks, you're talking about Dustin Brown, you're talking about Clydell Moon. Both of those guys have the speed and the power to break it to the house. So a little bit different situation than what I think that Sussex has been used to seeing.
Agreed. One tight end, three receivers. Here comes Michi Mall back in motion. They hand it off to him. He's got some room on the left sideline. Nice blocking outside, shifting his way through some defenders. Got enough for a first down as he falls across the 35-yard line.
They're actually going to give that they're going to mark that spot a little bit short.
Yeah, I'm bad on my spots again tonight, Oscar. Maybe it's the officials. Maybe it's a combination of both.
I don't think it's you.
Second and one on the way. Clock continuing to run. Down around 53 seconds. They snap it, and they hand it off to Destin Brown. Brown's got going full speed across, and now he's hit hard up around the shoulders and the helmet. Dropped at the 30-yard line. No timeout just yet for Altavista. They're going to hang on to it.
Yep, 25. Gain of 11 for Dustin. Goes first down, and the clock stops as they... Altavista still with timeouts here.
Yeah, and it's actually Sussex Central's going to take a timeout. They didn't like what they saw maybe from the defensive alignment. We'll take one with them. 43 seconds when we come back. Colonels are up 27-12 on 105.5 KD Country.
Have you looked at your business banking fees lately? I'm Sean Stone with First National Bank, and we have the best business accounts which offer serious savings for your company. We have a full menu of business products from checking accounts and remote deposit capture to online banking. And we have a local merchant card representative who will customize services just for your business. So let First National Bank prepare an analysis of your current activity and show how we will reduce your banking fees. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
43.8 seconds left. Altavista still has some timeouts, but Sussex took the timeout there, Oscar, and boy, with the way Altavista's running this no-huddle hurry-up offense here, I can't say that I blame Sussex for taking a timeout there because the Colonels looked like they were about to kick it into high gear.
Yeah, and once again, the Colonels have shown that they're explosive in the 3-play drives, 2-play drives, 1-play drives. They continue to show how explosive and how many weapons that they have, and Sussex is very familiar. They've seen game tape. They know what these Colonels are capable of.
Yeah, we mentioned Curtis Jefferson is the head coach over there for Sussex Central. He's obviously got a well-disciplined football team, so he scouted Altavista, and he knows what to expect from the Colonels. Three receivers to the left, one to the right. Thornhill's in the shotgun. He wants to pass. Looking for Michi Mall back on the right sideline. Couldn't hook up with him. Ball was just a little bit wide. Number 3 in coverage, Deshaun Barrow. Wasn't far from Michi Mall back, so that didn't make things any easier for Juan and Michi. Ball goes incomplete, bring up 2nd and 10. Just 3 seconds run off the clock there.
And they are at the very, very, very edge of Walker Allen field goal range. He can go to about 45 yards. The ball right now at the 25. It'd be spotted at the 32, 42-yard field goal. So they're at the very edge. And, of course, with 40 seconds left, 2 timeouts, they're nowhere near done.
Yep, empty backfield. Juan Thornhill wanted to pass. Now he's going to take off and run, bouncing side to side. Ran out of a jersey tackle. Then he's hit across the 20. Here comes the timeout from the Altavista Colonels to stop the clock with 31.6 seconds left. We'll stop it with them. Timeout on 105.5 KD Country.
They're celebrating their 14th anniversary at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant all day this Sunday. Great Mexican dishes and great service for 14 years. Thanks for making El Cazador the #1 Mexican restaurant. Good food, good service, and low prices keep customers coming back year after year. El Cazador says thank you for your business this Sunday at the 14th annual anniversary celebration. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, Main Street in Altavista, the happiest place in town. Food and drink specials all day Sunday. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonel stopped the clock with 31 seconds left. 27-12 lead for Altavista. They love to pad that lead a little bit here before going into the locker room, particularly since they get the football back at halftime. But this would just be a bonus here. Shotgun formation again. Juan Thornhill wants to throw. Looking left, now looking right. Scrambles out of the pocket. Still looking downfield in the run. He's got Navy Jones on the right sideline at the 10. Jones cuts inside. Navy Jones touchdown. What an excellent play by Juan Thornhill. Scanning the field. Looked left, looked right. Nothing there. He rolled out. He scrambled. Navy Jones just sat down in the middle of that zone. Juan found him, and Navy did the rest.
Well, he did, and the offensive line gave Juan time to throw. Had him a nice little pocket. He was able to roll. Nice job by the receivers on that left side. Navy adjusted, came back, got the ball. Nice play by the Colonels.
I mean, that's how you run that play when the quarterback is scrambling out of the pocket. Excellent stuff. Good run after the catch by Navy, too. He took a little bit of contact, just fought through it, dove his way to the end zone. 6 more points. Here comes the extra point now from Walker Allen. They're going to fake it. Juan Thornhill going to roll to his right, throws to the end zone, and he's got it complete. Number 6, Demetrius Johnson, on the fake extra point. Thornhill loving it. Altavista loving it. We'll take a timeout. 35-12, Colonel lead on 105.5 KD Country.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet
In Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
23 seconds left. Man, Oscar, this is really textbook stuff from the Altavista Colonels. It's what they've been doing a lot this year. They just get on top of people, then they start pulling away. Sometimes it takes a little longer than others, but tonight, 35-12, the Colonels are up. It's probably going to be the halftime lead here, as I would imagine Sussex Central might even take a knee, or maybe they'll just run one play. But the Colonels have got things going the way they want them right now in the first half.
I would say that, but with Jones' arm.
True. Very true.
And, they've got a timeout left as well, so you may see them try to score.
You got to bring up a great point. I mean,
I always do, Kyle.
90% of the time you do anyway. With 23 seconds left, I mean, there's still time on the clock. No rule that says Sussex Central isn't going to try and score here. I wonder if the Colonels will squib this one, possibly. Because Michael Jarrett is back deep for Sussex Central. He was the one that housed the long touchdown on the run just a few plays ago. Maybe you want to keep it out of his hands if at all possible. Let's see what Walker Allen has in mind. Here comes the run-up from Walker. And they will drive it back deep. Jarrett's going to get a chance to return it. Going to field it on about the 7-yard line. Starting up the middle, he's got a hole there as well. Now he wants to try and bust it outside, but he's not going to be able to. Clydell Moon making the stop. And it's also number 55, Wayne Short, in on the stop for the Altavista Colonels. Big play right there by those two guys because Jarrett had a full head of steam, and he was looking for the end zone.
The Colonels have been a little bit susceptible to the long returns here later in the season.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, you can't really point out a whole lot of weaknesses for Altavista, but I think you could certainly mention that. 1st and 10, middle of the field from the 37-yard line of Sussex Central. They'll have 16.6 seconds left. So
with one timeout, they easily get a couple of plays in.
And time will stop, and that's because Altavista wants to take a timeout. Let's keep it right here for this one, Oscar. So I have a feeling if Sussex Central picks up some yardage, they'll call a timeout as well. 16 seconds left in the first half.
Coach Revis called that timeout. There was some he wanted Navy Jones back on the field. He had Nelson Dews in. I don't know if Navy was winded or whatever, but made that substitution and got Navy back in the game to get Nelson off. And again, nothing wrong with Nelson. Nelson's done a great job all year, especially here in the second half of the season, but he doesn't have the speed that Navy has.
Yeah, I think you great point. Again, you make them all the time, but you got the personnel. You might as well use it. You got the timeouts. You're probably not going to use them before halftime. So if you can take a timeout to give Navy Jones a little bit of a breather there and then get him back in the game, then why not do it? 16.6 seconds left. Colonels lead 35-12. Subway halftime show to follow us. Going to be a good one. Plenty to talk about there in this game. Got some scores from some other games via our old friend Bob Alvis.
Well,
which part? The via or the Bob or the friend?
Well,
all the above? Was there a D there? Was there an all of the above? Sussex Central taking a while in their huddle over there. I think the officials are ready for them to break the huddle. In fact, they start the play clock early while Sussex Central is still over there on the sideline. I think Sussex still going to have time to get the play off.
Yeah,
but
you might see some shenanigans here. You might see a trick play or...
certainly not the worst place in the world for it. Now Sussex is taking a little bit of time. That play clock started early. I don't know if they saw the official signal or not. They're taking a while. DeQuandre Jones is back in the shotgun now. 5 yards deep, still looking over the defense. Boy, it seems like the lay of game was on the way. They'll hand it off. They give it to number 6, and that's just Jason Flowers. He breaks the tackle. He's going left sideline, runs over Navy Jones, but Jones is able to bring him down. Clydell Moon as well. And there's the timeout. Well, they're just moving the sticks. I don't know if Sussex Central has called a timeout yet. Yes, they have called a timeout. We'll take it with them. 9.3 seconds left in the first half. Colonels lead 35-12. Timeout on 105.5 KD Country.
Go Colonels! The Rehab Associates of Central Virginia congratulate the Altavista Colonels on a great season. Rehab Associates of Central Virginia with 9 convenient locations, giving you direct access without the need for referral. Rehab Associates of Central Virginia cheering on the Altavista Colonels throughout the playoffs. Let's go Colonels! Rehab Associates of Central Virginia and Hurt. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Final stages of the first half here from English Stadium. It's been a longer first half. You know, a lot of these first halves fly by, Oscar. This one's taken a while. Both teams have been using their full complements of timeouts. We had 1 or 2 injuries in there that took a little while. But overall, some really good football being played. And the Colonels on top right now, but Sussex threatening here. 9.3 seconds left.
Well, and last week in the second quarter, the Northumberland coach actually requested to go to the running clock, which is an anomaly, and really by VHS's rules is not supposed to happen. But the coach requested it. I think the referees did a good job accepting that. Coach Sean, of course, accepted it, and again, nice show of sportsmanship and allowing that to happen.
Yep, this game a lot closer here tonight. Man in motion for Sussex Central. They hand it off again, and now they're going to try the trickeration. They pass it back. Here comes the long pass down the sideline. Colonels have it covered well. Ball goes up in the air. Michi and Juan were battling each other for it, and I think they're just going to laugh this one off. There's actually 0.4 seconds left on the clock for Sussex to try something. They put a man in motion. The man in motion was number 13, Malik Delk. They did not hand it off to him initially. They handed it off to Boone. And then Boone flipped it back to Delk, and then Delk threw it deep. Delk had to run out of a tackle there. It was an interesting-looking play. Wow. They got a flag down. They're going to say pass interference against the Altavista Colonels. I thought Michi had perfect position there, Oscar. It's not something that I saw from this vantage point.
That's an interesting call.
And again, there's 0.4 seconds left on the clock. A little bit of a strange situation.
But that puts the ball, it should put the ball at about the 27-yard line for Sussex. And, you know, that certainly changes their strategy. And with Jones' arm, there's no question he can zip it into the end zone in a New York minute.
That's exactly right. Colonel's secondary has really got to be aware here. And the D-line and the linebackers have really got to try their best to get to Jones and harass him before he can get the football away. Here it comes, 1st and 10, the 27-yard line. Last play of the half for sure with just 4.4 seconds left. This is actually number 13 back there at quarterback again. That's Delk. Delk looking to the end zone. Good throw. Thornhill is there to pick it off, but it bounced. Juan had his hands on it. Couldn't pull it in. That will finally bring a close to the first half of football. 35-12. Subway halftime show on the way here on 105.5 KD Country.
Chef's Drive-In is a proud supporter of Altavista High School athletics. And after a great game, stop by Chef's Drive-In at 1101 Main Street in Altavista for the best food around. The next time you're hungry, there's no other place to go. Give Chef's Drive-In a try today. When it comes to ham biscuits, hamburgers, hot dogs, or fries, Chef's Drive-In can't be beat. And if you want the best milkshakes in town, you've got to give Chef's a try. Chef's Drive-In, Main Street in Altavista across from CVS.
Head into winter with a set of premium Michelin tires. Drop by your Michelin dealer between November 1st and December 2nd and get a $70 MasterCard reward card after submission when you buy any set of 4 new Michelin brand passenger or light truck tires.
See your Michelin dealer today. Perkins Twin Tire and Auto Service on Main Street, Altavista.
Reward card eligibility is limited to tire purchases from participating dealers only. See redemption form for complete offer details. Offer expires 12/2/2013. Void where prohibited. Reward card issued by U.S. Bank pursuant to a license for MasterCard International Incorporated.
The following is brought to you by English Construction Company.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Virginia high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Boy, welcome back to Altavista High School, English Field, where the Colonels lead 35-12 here at the half. And we're honored to have our special halftime guest with us, 1981 Altavista High School graduate Micah Moon. Micah, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good to have you back. You know, Micah, you played here at Altavista High School, graduated in 81, and of course, you were recruited pretty heavily. Ended up choosing Carolina. You know, why'd you go to Carolina?
Well, honestly, it was like a dream come true, really, because what made me so interested in Carolina was, I guess my first love was basketball. So watching the Carolina basketball, and I thought I was going to be a basketball player, but it went the other way. And I just fell in love with the school, from basketball. And thinking about the other choices I had, that's why I kind of chose Carolina over anybody else, just because it was like really a dream come true. And that was like a serious love I had for that school.
Were there any other schools that you heavily considered, or was it once it found out Carolina was interested, was that it?
Well, there were other schools that offered, of course, being from Altavista and Virginia Tech and having a lot of alumni here from Virginia Tech and alumni here from UVA. Both those schools came at me, but I kind of want to do something different. I really want to go somewhere where I guess no one who had played Colonel football had, went, and that's why I chose Carolina.
But it was a good choice. Obviously, it looks like you went down as an offensive player. A lot of people don't realize that 1980 Carolina team was absolutely loaded.
Oh, yeah.
11-1. Had a Donnell Thompson, Lawrence Taylor. So the outlook had to be promising. Still had a bunch of players that were coming back. Didn't get much time as a freshman, obviously, on the playing field, did you?
No, well, it was kind of funny because I went in and, I started off and I had a good preseason at playing running back. And I'm going to be honest with you, when I got to that level of ACC football and they had me playing fullback, that was totally unlike what I was playing here in high school. I was playing tailback. I wanted to run the ball. I didn't want to block all the time. So it was like being just like another guard, but I was in the backfield. So when I had the opportunity to move to defense, because back then we used to play JV games, and I was going both ways then, and I kind of really had a decent game at playing linebacker. So once that was discovered, that's where I wanted to be. And my motto was I would rather hit than get hit.
Well, that makes sense. And when I went back and looked, and a kid from Burlington, North Carolina, I'm very familiar with the Chapel Hill and with the Carolina program. And I said, well, Michael went in as an offensive player, and I started looking at the running backs that were there. Tyrone Anthony, Kelvin Bryant, Ethan Horton. You played with some studs. So even on defense, the guys that you played with, Wiltshire, Reuben Davis, Carlton Bailey, you played with some guys that went on to have some great pro careers.
Yeah, that's true. It was a great opportunity to play with such such good caliber athletes. And I just wish that if I had to look back over my career, I wish I just could have had the opportunity to maybe been involved in professional football a little bit longer, but things happen.
Yeah, they did, and of course you were drafted 9th round by the Falcons. don't know how long you stayed in Atlanta. I think you ended up in Indianapolis.
Correct. Yeah. And that's my home right now. The coach picked me up in '87, and it was going real good. Had a really good training camp, and I had got back into it. When I went to Atlanta, I was kind of disappointed because I was All ACC, All American. I had a lot of preseason honors, and the day of the draft that came through, and I wasn't very happy with where I ended up in the draft because had it been different, if I never was projected to go high, and it was very disappointing. So I was, back then I really needed a shrink to get my head right.
Right.
But when I went to Atlanta, I was really going through the motions really, and when I had the opportunity to go back to Indianapolis, I got with a personal trainer, and I got back in shape a lot better from the mental side, and then everything was going well. And then here we go, I blow up my knee, so. That happens.
And now I think you're in law enforcement?
Yeah, I've been a police officer in Indianapolis now for 23 years, and I work as the athletic coordinator for the police department. And what I do is I put together youth programs, and I work in schools throughout the city, and also work in after-school programs. And I have a football league there, I have a basketball league, and it's called Police Athletic League. So it's a way that police officers build a relationship and bridge the gap between the community and kids. So, it's a good thing. Of course, just like everyone else, we don't have enough people, but we make it work.
Now that's that's impressive, and there's a lot to be said for playing pro football. But thinking of what you're able to give back to the community now and the service that you're able to do, that's got to be rewarding. I got one more last quick question for you, and I'll let you go. Obviously, you're seeing Juan Thornhill tonight. I don't know if it's your first opportunity to see him. A situation very similar to what Vic Hall was, out of Gretna, a little bit smaller, tremendous athleticism to play at that level. What do you think is going to be his biggest adjustments athletically going to that next level at UVA?
Well, you're going to see guys that's going to be a lot. They're going to be big, they're going to be fast, they're going to be quick. And, everybody is, per se, everybody was the stud of their high school, and now everybody's put in one big old basket, and now we're going to try to make the best football team we possibly can have. And I think once you get over the fact that, you can realize that, okay, I can play with these guys too. It's not that big of a deal, but you're going to just really have to hone in to staying in tune to the game, and especially from the mental side of it, because it's that's a huge adjustment when you have to deal with college. In college, you got your classes, you got to go to practice. It is seriously a full-time schedule. But the job of the school is to try to make sure that you as an athlete, they don't want you to fail. So they're going to provide all type of opportunities, through tutorial programs and all that kind of stuff. So I want to have an opportunity just to let him know, hey man, you can do it, you can make it, but you're going to have to stay in tune. It's not easy, but it's not as hard as you can, as you want to make it, or you can make it. But I wish him well. And he's a very, very good athlete. He's got has good speed, and I look forward to seeing him, do well at UVA.
Yeah. Well, Michael, man, we certainly appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. Next time you're there, if you're ever in there, you're free to come up and talk to us. And again, thanks for the opportunity to talk to you. And we're going to take a break and come back to you. 105.5 KD Country. Colonels lead 35-12.
Life happens. Divorce, family problems, criminal charges, civil litigation, personal injury cases. Turn to David W. Shreve, an experienced attorney at law. David W. Shreve has been practicing law for over 30-plus years. A free consultation for personal injury cases. Call today, 369-6621. That's 369-6621. David W. Shreve congratulates the Colonels football team, and good luck. Go Colonels. David W. Shreve, located on 7th Street in Altavista.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch & Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
From small to tall, Highview Motors GMC has it all. Highview Motors GMC, an authorized GMC team with fantastic pricing. Highview Motors Collision Repair and Body bringing back the shine with top-notch frame and unibody repair. PPG Paint, 24-hour towing. Working hard to earn your business. Highview Motors GMC, Main Street, Altavista.
Highview Motors GMC. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Back here live from English Stadium, 35-12. Colonels lead, and Oscar Briggs. Great stuff there with Mr. Micah Moon. That really great. He got a great perspective. He's still up here in the press box. I'm not buttering him up. I'm just speaking from the heart here.
But you're better about it, buttering him up, because I'm going to tell you right now, he looks like he could strap him all right now.
Yeah, I think he could still buckle the chin strap and roam around out there and really wreak some havoc on somebody. But, yeah, you know, not often we can have a former pro ball player up here. Then, like you said, so much more than that with the stuff he's doing with the Police Athletic League, you know, just sports in general. And that's great to see, passing on his knowledge and his passion for the game. And, you know, really, obviously, one of the best athletes to come through Altavista High School. You know, you got to throw him up there with the Tracy Poindexters and the Kenny Hunts and all those guys.
And let's face it, you know, not only Michael was very competent on the football field, he was a heck of a basketball player as well. So, you know, the stories I got today were it was equally as impressive on the basketball court.
Well, a lot of guys like that. Of course, one guy out there for the Altavista Colonels. Well, not just one guy. A bunch of guys for the Colonels are like that on the basketball court as well. I said one guy. I really should have said a whole host of guys.
Were starters on the state championship team.
Exactly, as sophomores. And, hey, you know, good time to talk about some other sports, I guess, while we're here. Basketball season probably going to get a little bit of a late start. Again, it's looking like, just because football is going on. And Coach Cartelero's got a lot of those same guys coming back from last year's state championship team. And, you know, they won't really get into a full schedule until football is done. So, basketball fans, just kind of keep an ear on that and keep your eyes on the KD Country web page. They'll keep you informed as far as when basketball is going to start. Volleyball, we mentioned it briefly. Win in the state semifinals today, so they're back in the state finals again. One volleyball state championship here at Altavista. And trying to make it, or is it two already?
I think it's two.
See what kind of trouble I get myself into? It's a good thing Coach Spencer didn't hear. But actually, she might be listening. You never know.
She may be, and you know, I think it's two. You may be right. The thing is that they're going to have their hands full tomorrow with an Auburn team that knocked Altavista out of the tournament last year.
Yeah, state semifinals last year. Go ahead.
Again, it knocked them out of the tournament, like I said. But, yeah, all indications were today that Auburn was firing on all cylinders today. Altavista went – Carolina, I'm still talking to Micah Moon. Altavista went 5 games with Northumberland. Auburn dispatched in Northumberland today 25-12, 25-13, and 25-10. So the Colonels, by all indications, are going to have to play flawless tomorrow, and Auburn might have to be a little bit off, but, you know, don't ever underestimate Coach Spencer.
That's exactly right. You know, it's sports. The game is never played on paper. It doesn't matter what the predictions say. Oscar gave me a weird look, like maybe he thought it was played on paper. I think it was just a cliche factor there. But, you know, it's true. And like you said, Deborah Spencer, she's been there a bunch, whether it's been basketball or volleyball. She's got the big game experience. She knows how to get a team ready. I'm not discounting any team that's got Sydney Morris on it because, especially in a sport like volleyball, where you can just get hot and just rip off points, you know, right in a row, and there's nothing the other team can do about it. It's a very momentum-oriented sport.
I was getting ready to say it's probably the most momentum-driven sport that there is. You know, it can turn on a dime. It's a great sport. Of course, my daughter played and played travel ball, and I've become very, very fond of that game and know the game well, and wish the Colonels the best tomorrow, and hoping they can bring home that state championship.
Absolutely. We want. It wasn't easy for me to say, but we want them to do it. We want another state championship here at Altavista High School. And they're certainly capable. Sussex back on the field now to warm things up a little bit.
Yeah, some quick stats out of the first half. The Colonels with 200 yards rushing, 34 through the ground for a total of 234. Pretty good distribution. Thornhill with 135 yards on the ground. Dustin with 47. Claudel with 9. 9 from Michi Malbeck. Sussex with 158 total yards. 70, great balance. 73 on the ground, 85 through the air. Both teams with 20 yards in penalties. The thing that looms kind of large, the 2 turnovers for Sussex, and Altavista continues to not turn the ball over and not put the ball on the ground.
Yeah, they've done well with that all year. They've had a few hiccups here and there, obviously, but for the most part, Colonels really do take care of the football. They win that turnover battle. They're winning it so far here tonight. They score points off that fumble, so they're taking advantage in that respect. They lead 35-12. Boy, you mentioned the yardages there for both teams and some guys for Altavista. I wish we just kept track of pancake blocks because I think the receivers out there tonight have got just as many or more than the offensive line. I mean, Darius Johnson, Demetrius Johnson, Michi Malback, Navy Jones. We didn't even mention the great blocking that Destin Brown and Clydell Moon have been doing this spring. Juan Thornhill and some of those long runs. This really is a team that they sell out. They don't care if they don't have the ball. They just want to get in the end zone.
Boy, our offensive line has done an outstanding job. Outstanding job.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Colonels get brought down in backfield too much tonight, that's for sure. And another credit to the O-line. Let's take one more time out here before we come back with the second half. Subway pregame show wrapping up. When we return, Colonels will get the football back. They lead 35-12 on 105.5 KD Country.
When you need gas or hungry for the best fried chicken around, One Stop Mart is your one-stop shop. Congratulations Altavista Colonels on a great season and making it to the football playoffs. Remember, One Stop Mart has all your convenience items, gas, beverages, and deli specials with home-cooked food, fast and hometown service. One Stop Mart, Main Street, Altavista. Go Colonels!
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
Man, it's cold in here. What's wrong with your heater?
Well, it used to work pretty good.
Back in the 90s, just call Select Air and get it fixed.
Oh, it'll probably cost a lot of money.
No, it won't, because Donnie will give you a fair price and get it done right the first time.
Maybe I'll call Select Air tomorrow.
No, you will call Select Air today, because it's freezing in here.
Select Air, 841-1580. 841-1580. Online at selectair.webs.com. This week's specials from your Apple Market's convenience stores. Get an 8-piece fried chicken box for only $6.99 from 4 to 8 p.m. every day and all day Sunday. Warm up with any size coffee or cappuccino for just 99 cents. Get a case of Coke at the special price of $6.99 now at Apple Market locations, Riverside, Gateway, and Main Street in Altavista. Check out the Apple Market Holiday Feast, including 10-pound boneless turkey or ham, 2 large size, a dozen rolls, and a whole pie. Pre-order at Main Street or Riverside Apple Market. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
35-12, Colonels lead. A couple other scores. Heritage was up 21-7 at halftime over William Byrd, and I believe Dan River trailing by like 1 to Buckingham at halftime. I think it might have even been 7-6 or 8-7. I can't remember what my good friend Bob Alvis said, but either way, we just heard also that Essex was up by about a touchdown or so in their football game. Essex, the number 1 seed in the Division I East here with Altavista. So that actually means that Altavista would not match up with them to the state championship. That's the way it works there. You end up playing the other region. You play the West in the state semifinals. That would be in 2 weeks. Franklin would be next week, assuming Franklin can get by.
But you could see an Altavista-Essex final.
You could, yes, exactly.
As they cross.
Yeah, the cross bracket. Franklin playing Rappahannock tonight. Short kick going to go out of bounds there. Franklin, now I've got Franklin on the brain. Sussex Central kicks it out of bounds. Sussex Central is a big rival with Franklin. But Sussex Central is a team in town tonight. If Franklin wins, they'll be in town next Friday. Assuming the Colonels can hold on, 35-12. And it looks like they're going to start from about the 35-yard line, Oscar, after the penalty.
Yeah, they did the squib kick and tried the onside kick. And, of course, it was headed to the sideline quickly. Nobody from Altavista touched it. Colonels take over on the 35, and they are ready to go. They're getting set pretty quick, Kyle.
Yeah, I know they want to come out quick here and really, I don't want to be cliche, so I'm just not going to say put the nail in the coffin. But
they got their boots on the ground.
They got boots on the ground here to start the second half. 35-yard line, left hash mark. Thornhill getting the offense set. 3 wide receivers over here to the right. They've really got those guys spread out to the right. I think it could be a running play to open things up here. And it is. Juan is going to hand it off to Destin Brown. Brown, football came out. Destin tracks it down. That ball was bouncing around on the turf for a long time. Destin fortunate to recover it. This will go as a loss, at least 5 or 6 yards there after the fumble is scooped up. So not the way the Colonels wanted to come out of the locker room on the initial play anyway, Oscar.
And no sooner did we talked about the Colonels not putting the ball on the ground, lo and behold, it happened. The announcer's jinx. Colonels had 3 wideouts, had trips on this side. Looks like they had a mismatch with only 2 defenders.
Yeah, it might be an adjustment by Sussex. Maybe they're going to try and cover 3 with 2. A little bit of zone coverage out there. We'll see. Same formation just on the left side. Juan wants to throw it over there to the trip side. Looking for Michi Maulback. Just out of Michi's hands. Falls incomplete. This will bring up 3rd and long. You don't see the Colonels' offense sputter too much, but that seems to be what's happening here on the first 2 plays from scrimmage in the second half.
Yeah, look a little bit out of sync right now, which again is unusual. They do usually come out with a vengeance here early in the 3rd quarter. Look a little bit slow getting the plays in, and little players are uncertain as to exactly what's going on.
Yep.
A lot of communication.
Agreed. And with the explosive nature that Altavista has, never know. They could bust it open right here on this very play. 3rd and 15. They got the overshift formation to the left. Thornhill wants to run that way. Looking outside. Now he goes inside. Wow, shakes off 1 tackle. Spin move, still on his feet. Didn't get a whole lot, though. About 6. Really ran through some hard tackles. One ended up trying to high step through one of them. And he's brought down after the 6-yard gain. It'll bring it out to 4th and 9, and the Colonels are going to punt this thing away from the 36-yard line. Walker Allen back deep to kick it for him. Remember his first and only punt of the game, pins Sussex back deep. I don't think he's going to be able to pin him back deep, but he could certainly hang it up there for a while and let the coverage team get down.
Again, only the 2nd punt of the night for the Colonels, and as you alluded to, his first punt was a 47-yard punt that pinned Sussex deep into their own territory.
Sussex getting a guy on late.
2 guys on late, actually.
Yeah, you're right. They're in plenty of time. Altavista has not snapped it away yet. Here's the snap. It's perfect waist high. Walker doesn't have much of a rush to deal with, and he kicks it away. It'll bounce on the 40-yard line. Return, oh boy, hit hard right there, and that dropped the ball carrier in his tracks. It was Ashton Robinson going full speed. He lowered the shoulder. It was Michael Jarrett that caught it on the bounce.
5 more minutes.
I'm not sure if
When
we
you
saw
cook
Ashton
the most
Robinson
important
coming or
meal
not,
of the
but he
year with
certainly remembers
McCormick,
him now.
some people who've waited 364 days just can't wait another 5 minutes. Happy Thanksgiving.
Where's
Uncle Maury?
Ashton had a full head of steam, and it's interesting to see Ashton was the first player down as well.
Yeah, great coverage there by Ashton Robinson.
McCormick,
Getting down in a
live
hurry and then
deliciously.
making the solo tackle. Not many 220-pounders that can move like Ashton Robinson does. He was getting down in a hurry. Sussex going to snap this from the 38-yard line. 1st and 10 here. Jones goes with the hard snap count. He'll hand it off. That's actually not Jones. That's number 13. Again, Malik Delk, who's in there at quarterback. Handoff's going to go for about 11 yards. Good enough for a 1st down. They get it to about the 50-yard line. Delk in the game now at quarterback. I didn't really see DeQuandre Jones get hurt or anything, Oscar. Maybe Sussex just wants to try something different, or maybe he did get hurt. Who knows?
It'd be interesting to know. I don't see him. I'm looking for him over on the sideline. Don't see him. It's hard to believe that they would have pulled him given the way he played in the first half. He played extremely well.
Yeah, the nature of his arm back there alone. Ashton Robinson jumped on defense, then a man on offense moved. Left tackle moved after that for Sussex, but I think this is going to be on Altavista for coming across first. Delk threw it around pretty good, too. You know, he threw that one ball in the end zone that almost got picked by Juan Thornhill, but he's got a good arm. Just hard to imagine the arm is better than DeQuandre Jones, and Jones just looks so comfortable in the pocket back there. This is actually going to go against Sussex. They'll move him back 5 yards.
Yeah, you know, Ashton thought it was on him, but once the officials started to meet and talk about it, they met for about 30 seconds and talked about it. It looked like it possibly could have gone the other way, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and you know, Ashton jumped and flinched, but if he doesn't come across the line of scrimmage there, then it's okay. I mean, the defense can move around all they want to. He's set in a 3-point stance now, just off right tackle again. Here comes a shotgun snap. Looked like right tackle moved for Sussex Central. Delk will hand it off. He's got it to Boone. Boone shakes off one tackle. Now he's got a head of steam running through some more tackles. Good stuff right there. Used the spin move as well. Finally brought down by Darius Johnson. Solid pickup, 6 or 7 yards.
You know, Donovan Montague had a chance to stop him in the backfield. Grabbed it, was unable to contain him. Nice job getting through that initial tackle and ripping off about 7 yards.
Yep, good hard running from Dontre Boone. 2nd and 8 now. 9:06 to play in the Apple Market third quarter. 35-12 is our score. Colonel's lead. They've led all games. Started out 13-0, and then Sussex got it to 13-6. Eventually it wound up here 35-12 where we're at now. Thornhill's got 2 rushing touchdowns. He's thrown one to Navy Jones as well. Passing play again this time for Sussex. Delk looking down the seam. Couldn't find his receiver. Bounced short. Nobody from Altavista really in the area as well. And that'll bring up 3rd and 8 on the incomplete pass.
And nothing against Delk, but that ball was thrown nowhere near the way that Jones has been throwing the ball.
No, I'm with you. You phrased it perfectly. Nothing against what Delk is bringing to the table here. But I think they're losing a little bit not having DeQuandre Jones in there. I imagine it's an injury situation. I think Jones, something's going on with him health-wise, and that's why he's not in here. 2 wide receivers to each side for Delk. Looks over the defense. Takes the hard snap count. Now they do snap it. They'll hand it off to Boone. Boone's going to break it up the middle, then outside. Brought down, solo tackle by Destin Brown. Got him around the shins there and just wouldn't let go. Short of the first down marker. Did gain some yards. I think it's going to make it about 4th and 5. Certainly, you couldn't fault Sussex for going for it here on 4th down, Oscar.
No, and given their punter that we saw early, trailing 35-12 on the Altavista side of the field, you got to believe that they're going to go for it.
I would think so. Offense looks like they're staying out there. I guess the question for Mike Revis and his defense is either looking at a passing play or a running play. Dontre Boone is in the backfield with Malik Delk. 2 wide receivers to each side. 4th and 5 on the way. 8:05 to play in the third quarter. Hard snap count again. Here comes the shotgun snap. Delk's going to keep it himself on a running play. He's got room right side. Destin Brown slowed him down, and then Donovan Montague cleaned him up. What a stop right there by those 2 guys, and a great team effort by the Altavista Colonels.
Looked like he was going to be able to break to the outside. I thought he had an opportunity to get the first down, but boy, Destin and Donovan closed on him quickly and stopped him for no gain.
Impressive stuff right there. Destin Brown sort of just grabbed a hold of his jersey and slowed him down enough. Then Donovan Montague came in, cleaned him up, dropped him really for just a 1-yard gain. And the Altavista Colonels going to take over on offense. Went 3 and out last time and had to punt it away their first possession. They'll go with 1 tight end and 3 wide receivers. Here comes the snap to Thornhill. Thornhill's going to try right side behind Moon. Spin move there, lowered his shoulder a little bit. He's got a 5 or 6 yard pickup before he's finally dragged down. Whole team in on that one. Flag comes out real late. Think there was some extracurricular stuff on the far sideline. So it's interesting to see who this is on. Might be offsetting even. Thornhill a little slow to get up. I think he was just at the bottom of a pile that was filled with a lot of guys.
He got hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
No question about it. He turned and tried to spin away. He did get hit pretty hard. Call from the official now is personal foul both ways, offsetting. Play will stand.
Yeah, it's a 6.5 yard pickup for Juan Thornhill. Michi Malbeck talking things over with Coach Sharness there on the far sideline. Michi might be saying, hey, if I run this route, I'll be open. Sometimes there's things that a player does see on the field that the coach cannot see from the sideline. So that communication is useful. Going to bring up 2nd and 4. 7:35 to play here in the Apple Market third quarter. Colonels up 35-12. Second time they've touched the football in the second half. 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers again. Juan looking over the defense, ready for the shotgun snap, gets it chest high, wants the pass. Good pocket to throw from, looking left side. He's looking for Demetrius Johnson. Johnson couldn't get free. He was tangled up with the defender. Johnson wondering, where's the flag? Johnson really could never even throw his arms up to try and catch the football. It goes incomplete. No flag on the play.
No, and you bring up a good point is that the defender was never looking back at the ball either.
Yeah.
He just had Johnson tied up. Brings up 3rd and about 5, 3rd and 4. Colonels lead 35-12, 7:18 here remaining in the third quarter.
Demetrius kind of complaining there. You know, I didn't even get a chance to try and catch it. Sort of just draped all over Demetrius.
Good throw by Juan.
Yeah, it really was. Good defense if you don't get caught, I suppose. 5 down linemen for Sussex Central. Michi Malbeck in motion. They hand it to him on the wide receiver sweep. He's looking outside. Now he stops. Hesitation move. Turns the corner. Gets run out of bounds. He's going to be about a yard or 2 short of the first down marker. This will be interesting. Altavista could certainly go for it. I don't think they're going to need more than about 2 yards. But it would be 4th down.
He's less than a yard. If that far, they're going to mark it right about a yard short.
Yeah, got to watch for the hard count again. Juan Thornhill could get under center again and try and sneak it. Coach Sharn is going to send out the punt team. 35-12 lead. You can't really fault that. Just kick it away and play defense again. And certainly with this kind of a lead, a three possession lead, you can't really fault the decision either way, I don't think.
Well, yeah.
Stumped you?
Given that Jones isn't in the game anymore, I think I would go for it.
Yeah. Fake punt is always a possibility as well. Juan Thornhill is the up back. Here comes the snap. They will snap it to Juan Thornhill, the up back. They pull a couple linemen. Juan's got the first down. He had a man draped on his waist behind him. It's enough for first down yard as they get it to the 35-yard line. I thought they might fake it earlier. They wait to this punt to try it. And it's a nice pick up there. Juan Thornhill following the blockers. Walker Allen gave the old fake there, jumping up in the air like it was a bad snap. Don't know if it was Oscar-worthy. No pun intended to you, Mr. Briggs, of course.
No, thank you. I appreciate that.
6:55 to play. Chains are spotted, so the clock moving again. 35-12 lead for the Altavista Colonels. Clydell Moon in the backfield now. Juan barking out some signals. Here comes the shotgun snap. They hand it to Moon. Moon with a good head of steam. Boy, he's dropped. Clydell got up in the air a little bit, and then he got cut down by number 6, Jason Flowers. Good tackling right there. And Flowers with a good solid takedown there. Flag on the play. It was a 5-yard pickup.
And, we talked about Jones and his arm. Sideline one. We talked about Jones and his arm. We talked about Donovan Montague and his arm. A couple of these officials have got an equally as good arm. I've seen some of those flags going 20 and 25 yards.
Yeah, they can fire those yellow beanbag-filled hankies out there. Personnel change here for Altavista. Donovan Montague checking in the ball game. Moon is in the backfield again. Thornhill obviously still at quarterback. Looks like Demetrius Johnson lined up at a wing position there on the right side. 2 other receivers to the right here. Shotgun snap. They fake the quick hitter. Now Juan rolling to his right. Looking down right sideline. Michi was open, but the ball was overthrown. I don't know if that play was exactly drawn up that way. Juan Thornhill made the initial pump fake and then rolled out to his right. Had to get rid of the ball on the run. Had enough arm. Really had too much arm, essentially. He just overthrew Michi.
No. Yeah, I don't know. That play looked like a schoolyard play. Go to the third bush and hang it left.
Yeah, it wasn't. It didn't look like your normal, well drawn up on the chalkboard Mike Sharnis designed play. Flag is on the Colonels. Ineligible receiver downfield. Maybe that's another reason why it had a strange look. Maybe it was supposed to be a running player, at least that quick screen, and one of those linemen got out downfield to block, and then Juan just decided to chuck it deep to Michi. And maybe that's why the ineligible receiver downfield.
And they are going to take the penalty. A little bit surprising.
Yeah, it would have made it 3rd and 5. It's 2nd and 10 now. Coach Sharnis doesn't like what he sees. Maybe it's the schoolyard stuff. Maybe it's something else. We'll take a timeout with him. 6:04 to play in the Apple Market 3rd quarter. Colonels leading 35-12 on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista High School football is brought to you by Steve Farmer Auto Sales. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, where there's always a good selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. And they're priced right, with financing available. See Steve Farmer Auto Sales, 1112 Main Street, Altavista. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, best deals on wheels.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
35-12 3rd quarter. Coach Sharnis takes a timeout after the funky play that featured the penalty with the ineligible receiver. You think he's just telling the guys to clean it up a little bit here, Oscar? I mean, it's a 35-12 lead, but the game's not over yet. Certainly we've seen Sussex capable of breaking big plays.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly what he's doing. That they've got to maintain their intensity. That by no means is this game over.
A score here would go a long way. A score on this drive, anyway, would go a long way to really putting putting things in the good side of the column there for Altavista. Thornhill going to roll out. Now he stops. He's got Michi Malback open. Overthrew him again several times in a row. Now that was a well-designed play because Michi was wide open, streaking across the 20-yard line. Juan just couldn't hit him. A little bit overthrown, and there was some pressure headed in Juan's direction.
Well, there was, and Juan looked a little bit frustrated that Michi may have broken off the pattern a little bit quicker than he thought he was going to as well. Just the passing game, they have not been on the same page tonight.
Yeah, Juan really has thrown the ball well, just physically airing the ball out, and sometimes he's thrown it too well. He's overthrown some guys, and he did that just there. Now, whether it was a question of a wrong route or just a pure misthrow, who knows? It wasn't that far over Michi's head. He got a fingertip on it. 2 wide receivers each side, 3rd and 10. Thornhill was lined up over the guard there for a moment. Now he gets behind the center in the shotgun. He wants to pass again. Blitz on the way, has to run out of trouble. Juan looking to throw it. Now he wants to turn around and cut it cross field. Can't do it. He's dropped in the backfield. Sacked there by number 62, Kendall Jones. This is a big loss. A full 12 or 13-yard loss on the sack. And now the Colonels will have to putt it away. It's 4th and a bus ride. I don't think Sussex has to worry too much about the fake punt this time either.
No, obviously Walker Allen will come in. Last time he was in this position around the midfield, he was able to drive the ball, get it out of bounds around the 5-6 yard line. The Colonels are going to need that now. They've lost a little bit of the concentration, and they've looked a little bit scattered here in this third quarter.
I would agree. Quarterback Juan Thornhill, he ran out of the initial blitz. He avoided that one. The waves just kept coming. He tried to reverse field and go all the way back across the field, but just couldn't do it. It's too many guys there. Good snap to Walker Allen. Going to get a great kick away. This one should land on about the 20-yard line. Lands it, bounces just straight up. Destin Brown down there to cover it. And this ball should probably be down right where he touched it, but they actually didn't quite grab a firm handle, and it bounced backwards a little bit. Not a bad kick at all, though, by Walker Allen, all things considered.
Yeah, they're going to mark that at the 23-yard line. It was originally touched at the 21. Sussex takes over. 4:56 here remaining in the third quarter. Colonels lead 35-12.
It's a really interesting time right now in the football game, in the sense that if Sussex can go down and drive and score, or even score quickly, they're right back in the football game. They're really in a good place. If Altavista can get a stop and then turn around and score, or even a turnover and score, well, then you got to think the Colonels are just going to mosey on to victory. So very, very key stages here with 4:56 to go in the game. They give it to Boone. Boone, not a whole lot going on, and he is dragged down. Looked like Destin Brown had a hand on him and just would not let go. It didn't look like Destin was going to be able to bring him down, but Destin just had a handful of jersey, and Boone could not get out of that grip.
No, and you know, that's not unusual. We talk about this high-powered Colonels offense and the different weapons that they've got. The thing is that the same weapons are equally devastating on defense and equally as athletic.
We got the injury. I thought you said it pretty eloquently. I don't know why you're looking over here. We got the injury update from Mr. Jimmy Mundy, and he says that quarterback DeQuandre Jones is over there on the sideline with his gear off. So whatever injury he has is probably going to end his night. Demetrius Johnson in the backfield. He jumped up on the pump fake. He denied the pass. Then he got back down to his feet, and he made the sack. Big-time stop right there.
Boy, what an athletic play. As you said, he elevated, and, you know, let's face it, he's got about a 30, 35-inch vertical. He went up. As he came down, he leapt forward, grabbed the quarterback. That's going to be a loss of about 12 yards. What a great play.
Great stuff there from Demetrius Johnson. Getting in the backfield. He denied the passing lane. Then he came down and made the sack. Third and real long. Third and about 25.
And let's face it, you got to throw the ball, and you got a 6'4" Johnson with a 6'6", 6'7" kid wingspan coming at you. You're not going to get the ball off over him.
Yeah, I don't know what you do there. I mean, I guess you just eat it and take the sack and just make sure you don't fumble it. Delk did that, but he didn't do much else. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the right. Delk wants to pass. Little quick swing pass. Man's going to have to run for the first down. He's got some room to run. Thornhill on the tackle, hit him in his thigh pad and dropped him just in time because that receiver got within about 2 yards of the first down marker. And again, with Sussex Central down 3 scores, I don't think you can fault them for going for it. Flag comes out on the play. This may be against Altavista. No, he signaled against Sussex Central. Something going on, talking or jawing or motioning, gesturing, I don't know. But if Sussex Central was thinking about going for it on 4th down, they might not be able to now.
Boy, you know, that negates they were within a yard of having a first down.
Yeah.
It had been 4th and less than 1 or 4th and 1. They're going to mark that 15-yard penalty off. What a crippler.
Yeah, it really is. I love the play there on third down. You know, conventional wisdom says if you're going to throw it, you got to throw it to the first down marker. They just threw the little quick screen pass and let him run for the first down, and he came within a yard of doing that. Now they're backed way up again. It's going to make it 4th and 15. Looks like they might still be going for it. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. This may be a little early to go for it in this situation, in my opinion. Now they are going to trot out the punt team.
Well, and it was fourth. I mean, that was third down. That was a dead ball foul after completion of the third down. It brings up 4th and about 13 or 14. So really, they have no choice.
Yeah, and that's just that penalty is really hurts. I mean, at least if it's 4th and 1 or 2, you can line up and try the hard count. If the defense doesn't jump off, you can call timeout and punt it then. Now you don't even have that opportunity. Michi Malbeck will be the return man. He's on about the 45-yard line. Remember, he returned one for a touchdown this game, but it got called back because of a block in the back. Good snap to the punter. And the kick is away. It looks like Michi will have a chance to return it. It's going to let it bounce. Now it takes a bounce away from Malbeck. Ends up taking a kernel bounce going back the other direction. And it'll get downed on the 46-yard line of Sussex Central. So Altavista, pretty good field position, although Mr. Malbeck doesn't get a chance to do some damage on the punt return. 35-12, same score we went to halftime with. 2:19 to play here in the Apple Market third quarter.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say, you know, I like to go ahead and put it out there. It's not always popular, but you know, I'm a little bit disappointed in the Colonels here in this third quarter. It looks like they've lost some intensity and some focus here, especially on the offensive side of the ball. You know, they've played almost 10 minutes with no score.
One tight end, 3 receivers. Thornhill's going to try to go off the right tackle. He does, driving that pile forward, brought down by a couple defenders for Sussex Central. 7-yard pickup. Dante Poindexter going to check in the game now for the Altavista Colonels. Man down on the field, injury time out here for Altavista. Tell you what, let's go ahead and take it with them. It's a lineman down for the Colonels. We'll find out who when we get back. 2 minutes and change left to go here in the third quarter. Colonels up 35-12. It's on 105.5 KD Country.
Don't you think it's time that your business account made you money? I'm Marion Marshall with First National Bank, and we've introduced a small business interest checking account that earns your business interest. That's right, interest. So for a progressive small business checking account, come to First National Bank today. We'll show how your business account will earn interest, and we'll provide you with an extraordinary customer experience. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
1055 KD Country, WKDE, Altavista, Lynchburg, your home for award-winning high school football.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Fellers Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Fellers Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Fellers Chevrolet in Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Trayvon Elliott for the Altavista Colonels, walking off under his own power, but he does have a noticeable limp out there, Oscar, as the O-line comes and gives him the old tap on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Colonels still have football. It's going to be 2nd and 3.
Walking a little bit like Festus off of Gunsmoke. You know, that's two.
You dated yourself there with that reference.
That's two. You know, Nick at Night. That's two offensive linemen we've seen go down tonight. Kofor went down.
Yeah.
And now Elliott went down. It could be a point of concern, assuming that the Colonels move forward. Anyway, 2nd and 4, 157. Colonels lead 35-12.
Thornhill in the shotgun. He's got Dante Poindexter about a yard or 2 in front of him as a blocking back. Looks like Moon right behind him. They'll hand it off to Clydell Moon, going up the middle. He's got some room to run, dragged down. Good tackling there by Michael Jarrett, who hit him right around the waist and just dropped Clydell. First down yardage, though, for Mr. Moon and the Altavista Colonels. Chains move, 144 to play here in the Apple Market third quarter.
You know, I think the tone was set early in the third quarter as the Colonels tried to pass the ball some and do things a little bit different. Looks like now they're going back to the power game, starting to move the ball.
Hey, good point there, Oscar. I mean, we mentioned it. Their offense was sputtering. They looked a little flat. Maybe Coach Sharner said, all right, here's the adjustment. We're just going to go back to playing power football. We're just going to try and knock them in the mouth. Working so far. They pull a couple linemen. Thornhill will follow him. Oh, man, got it. got a man around his ankles there. Juan had clear sailing after that, but it looked like number 10, Dontre Boone, that dove in there and really made a nice tackle to bring down Juan. Got to give him a lot of credit there. The blocking was good, but Boone was able to just kind of worm his way in there and get an ankle.
Well, he did, and you usually don't see one player bring Juan Thornhill down like that, but it was a classic textbook ankle tackle. Got him around the knees, fell down to the ankles, tied him up, and brought him down.
Break up 2nd and 9. Thornhill knew that he was close to breaking that one there, too.
Under a minute here left in the third quarter, Kyle.
4 wide receivers, now make it 5 as Destin Brown motions out of the backfield. They're going to throw it to Destin on the swing pass. He's got it, bobbled it briefly. Runs away from the first tackle. Now he's dropped. Good tackling right there by the defensive secondary. Destin's going to get about a 3 or 4 yard pickup out of it. Maybe a missed assignment out there wide on the block for the Colonels, but Sussex was really doing a nice job pursuing the football. Going to make it 3rd and 6 for the Altavista Colonels. Under 10 seconds now. I think they're just going to let the clock run down, and the third quarter will end. We'll take it to the Apple Market fourth quarter when we come back. Colonels up 35-12, trying to secure the win here in the second round on 105.5 KD Country.
They're celebrating their 14th anniversary at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant all day this Sunday. Great Mexican dishes and great service for 14 years. Thanks for making El Cazador the #1 Mexican restaurant. Good food, good service, and low prices keep customers coming back year after year. El Cazador says thank you for your business this Sunday at the 14th annual anniversary celebration. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, Main Street in Altavista, the happiest place in town. Food and drink specials all day Sunday. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Well, the Colonels have got a 3-touchdown lead, Oscar, but it's actually one of the closer ball games they've had here at English Stadium in a while, so the fans sticking around, and with good reason. This Sussex Central team is not out of this yet. It's going to be tough to overcome this deficit in just 1 quarter, though.
Yeah, it is, and if you want to have some fun, you can go to the VHSL website, and you can pull up different teams from different decades, from different years, certainly even from this year, and pit them against each other, and the computer will run a simulation game. Kind of interesting to do that as the Colonels advance through, or if you want to see how the 2013 Colonels did against the 2011 Gretna Hawks, you can pull that game up. Those things are kind of fun.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's like fantasy football, like to the extreme there with the simulator and stuff. Thornhill's got Dante Poindexter right beside him in the backfield. Looks like Destin Brown behind him. 3rd and 6. Juan went with the hard count, and they jumped. So this will be 5 free yards for the Altavista Colonels. I don't think it's going to be quite enough just eyeballing it to get them the first down, but it looks like it's going to make it about 3rd and 1, or maybe even 3rd and less than 1. Still 12 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Clock does not start yet on the penalty. Here comes Thornhill ready for 3rd and 1 now. He's going to hand it off to Destin Brown. Brown had to run through a tackle in the backfield there. Somebody got penetration. He just ran right over number 55, James Edwards, for Sussex, and he ends up lunging forward for enough. It's going to be first down yardage, at least in my opinion. They have not moved the chains yet. Now they finally do. Confirm that. Altavista hustling some players in and out. Wayne Short was in there on the offensive line momentarily. We've seen Wayne a lot on defense at linebacker. I don't think we've seen him in on the O-line much yet this year, though.
Not very often, but, we've got 2 players that have been hurt. So, obviously he's pressed into the situation tonight where he has to play.
Colonels using their personnel creatively, if you will. Thornhill ready to run here. He'll actually going to turn around and pass. Made the play fake there to Destin Brown. Thought about a pump fake. Now he's going to left sideline. He's crossed the 15. Shake and bake, move around the 10. Dives for the end zone. Did the football come out? The football did come out, but Juan fell on it and recovered it. Touchdown, Altavista Colonels. The referee just stood there and watched it momentarily. Nobody from Sussex dove after the loose ball because they thought Juan had already broken the plane. Juan wisely dove on it, and he'll get the credit for the touchdown. I don't know, do you get the credit for the yardage on the rushing touchdown, or is it just a fumble recovery for a touchdown?
You get the yardage for the run.
Wow. Juan Thornhill really had to stretch out. He's hurting now, too. I don't know if it was the dive or maybe the hit before the dive. Maybe he's just tired.
I think it's 2 situations. Number one, I think when he dove the ball, he landed, on his stomach, and then at the same time the player from Sussex hit him. So
yeah. Wind might have gotten knocked out of Juan Thornhill. Navy Jones will actually come on and hold now. It's a good snap to Navy. Walk around. Got plenty of leg into this one. Drove it past the fire truck, and it's good 42-12. Colonels racing out to the bigger lead here at the start of the fourth quarter. 11:24 to play in the football game on 105.5 KD Country.
Head into winter with a set of premium Michelin tires. Drop by your Michelin dealer between November 1st and December 2nd and get a $70 MasterCard reward card after submission when you buy any set of 4 new Michelin brand passenger or light truck tires.
See your Michelin dealer today. Perkins Twin Tire and Auto Service on Main Street, Altavista.
Reward card eligibility is limited to tire purchases from participating dealers only. See redemption form for complete offer details. Offer expires 12/2/2013. Void where prohibited. Reward card issued by U.S. Bank pursuant to a license for MasterCard International Incorporated.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Thornhill in for the touchdown 3 times today. Juan Thornhill there on the touchdown run, and then scooping up his own fumble afterwards in the end zone. 6 more points for him, 6 more points for the Colonels. 42-12 now. They lead, Oscar, and I think we both agreed, and we both maybe even articulated it on the air. Colonels looked flat there for most of the third quarter, but then when they got back to the ground and pound, really keeping it between the tackles with the good, hard, old-school running, that's when they started to pull away, and they really punished Sussex there. Juan Thornhill, excellent run there. I mean, the shake and bake move around the 10, and then he dives for the end zone right around the 5. And then scoops up his own fumble afterwards.
Well, Juan with 186 yards on the ground. If he weren't for that big 14-yard loss, he'd be at 200 yards. So, again, Juan closing in on the 200-yard mark tonight.
Thornhill and company played a pretty good game. Maybe not the high-octane offense scoring all the time like we're used to, but, heck, they put up 42 points in a ball game. That's pretty doggone good. Walker Allen with a pretty good kick here. It'll land on about the 3-yard line. Going to get returned by Michael Jarrett. Jarrett's going right up the middle again. He's got some room. Nice tackle over there in between the hash marks and the numbers there. And it looked.
Navy Jones was the one that brought him down.
Excellent solo tackle by Navy Jones. It may have saved a touchdown. I mean, I know Walker Allen would have been back there and could have taken a chance at the tackle, but you'd rather have Navy Jones making that stick right there, and he did just that. 42-12, Colonels lead, 11-18. And Sussex will take over on their own 31-yard line. Again, 11-18 to play in the game. Subway post-game show, going to have some scores from some other local games and hopefully figure out who the Colonels are playing next week. It looks like they're going to be able to hold on to this one. Not saying I've never seen a comeback this big, but only on YouTube or something like that. Delk in the shotgun formation. He'll hand it off to Boone. Boone's got some room left side. Trying to wade his way through the Altavista defense, and that's not going to work. Looks like Wayne Short in on the stop. Navy Jones over on that side as well. Small pickup, maybe 1 yard or so. Not much else. We're under 11 minutes to go now in the football game, 42-12. And remember, the fourth quarter brought to you by Apple Market Oscar. Stop there after the game. Get everything you need to make your weekend perfect.
And Kyle, the first game of the season, Sussex gave up 48 to a Petersburg team. Other than that, they gave up 42 one other time, and that's the most points they've given up. Colonels with 42 here with 10:36 remaining in the fourth quarter. So nice job for Colonels against a pretty solid Sussex defensive squad.
Yeah, defensively, Sussex, really, I've been impressed with their tackling. They've made a lot of solo tackles on guys like Destin Brown and Juan Thornhill and Clydell Moon. That's never easy to do. Now, granted, the Colonels have broken some long ones, but Colonels are going to do that against everybody every now and then. Delk calling for the ball in the shotgun. They'll pull a lineman. They'll hand it off to Boone. Boone goes right up the middle. Couldn't run through those 3 or 4 Colonel defenders. I think that was Dante Poindexter. Also looks like number 55, Wayne Short, in on the stop again. Demetrius was there.
Yeah, Demetrius was, and it brings up 3rd and 5. Again, clock continues to run. We're now under 10 minutes.
Colonel's defense, speaking of defenses, Oscar, has looked pretty darn good, too. Pritchett broke that, or not Pritchett, Michael Jarrett broke the long one.
Boy, did he, and he got speed. I mean, you got some guys on the Colonels that couldn't run him down.
We've seen, we bring it up every week just because we've seen so many good players this year. I mean, we've seen our share of superstars this year. I don't know. It'd be tough for us to make like an all Oscar and Kyle team.
You've seen one more superstar than I have.
What, you don't get to look at yourself in the mirror every day? Is that what it is? Running play here on 3rd down. Not going to be enough for 1st down yardage. I wonder if Sussex will go for it here on 4th, though.
I think you have to.
I think you're right.
4th down.
It's going to be, they're going to mark it. It's going to be about 2 or 3 yards short.
Yep. 4th and 2 for Sussex. Yeah, I mean, you in my opinion, and I think you agree, you got to go for it here. It's your season. You know, you're obviously, if you don't win this game, you're not playing again. And I'm not saying even if they pick up the 1st down that the season's going to continue, but at this point,
they're down. It's 4-possession game at this point. Let's face it, with 8.5 minutes left, you're not going to make that up.
Right. You're down to like your last chip at the poker table. You might as well go all in, even if the hand isn't that great. Here it comes. Shotgun snap. They give it to Boone on the running play. He's got the 1st down across the 45, across the 50. Driving hard. Boy, it took 4 or 5 Colonel defenders to bring him down. Good hard running there by Dontre Boone, and that will be enough for the 1st down. He's a senior, so maybe he was thinking about, hey, I don't want this to be my last carry of my high school career. Good hard running right there. Moves the sticks.
And it looked like there was a hold late at that. Late after the 1st down was made. Again, that's just, I don't have the same point of view that the officials do.
Yeah, a lot going on out there in the speed. We do have a good vantage point up here at Altavista. That's make no mistake about that. Best press box, at least in the state, perhaps the country. Passing play here. Delp looking over the middle. Ball got tipped. Juan Thornhill was ready to tee off on the receiver if he made the catch. He was looking for Jason Flowers again, and it just got off his hands. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 on the way for Sussex. 7:54 to play in the football game. Colonel defense does have the 1 interception tonight. Michi Malbeck on that 4th down play that really ended up being like a punt. And the 1 fumble recovery that led to points. You know, we talked about the Colonel defense has been a real ball-hawking crew all year. 2nd and 10 on the way for Sussex. Running back to the left, 3 receivers to the right. Delk wants the shotgun snap. Altavista showing blitz. Looks like they actually back off and drop into coverage. Delk looking deep down left sideline, throws it up. Nobody there, but Navy Jones is there. Jones with the interception. He fell down. He wanted to make the big return, but just couldn't quite keep his feet. It is a turnover and another great job by the Altavista defense. Navy Jones with his 3rd interception on the year. Michi Malbeck has 4. Thornhill has 5. And if you talk for a second, Oscar, I'll tell you how many that is as a team, because they're not the only ones that have picks.
No, that was a great play by Navy, and Navy was really frustrated himself. He had to twist around to get the ball, and he did that, and he wasn't able to maintain his footing. If he was, he had some running room.
22nd interception on the year for the Altavista Colonels as a team.
That's impressive.
That really is impressive. We're in the 12th game of the year.
And that may be a record for a 2013 Colonels team.
That really might be. You know, the game's not over yet, too, and I imagine if Sussex gets the ball back, they're going to throw it up in the air some. So 22 interceptions in 12 games now, or it'll be 12 games when this one's finally said and done. Just under 2 a game. That's pretty impressive. Running play there for Clydell Moon. He picks up about 1 or 2.
And while I'm talking, I don't know how many interceptions Juan's thrown this year. But I'm sure you've got that stat in front of you.
I might be able to find that out. Yeah, Juan Thornhill has 3 interceptions on the year.
Well, and 2 of those were at either end of quarter or
that's right,
into half situations where he threw the ball deep, kind of a Hail Mary situation.
Right.
The other one, I think, was at Russberg on a tip ball. So,
yep. Yeah, I think that Russberg one really the only one that you could really call it a true interception, and even that was tipped, like you said. Running play here, not much room, as this Sussex D-line does a nice job swallowing up Clydell Moon. No hole to run through there. Thornhill has 13 touchdown passes on the year, 850 yards in the air coming into this game. It's got to be up around 950 now, I would think, after this. It's really been another stellar year for Juan Thornhill. 18 touchdowns scoring-wise coming into the game. I know he's got 3 tonight, so that's 21. Impressive stuff when you've thrown 13 touchdown passes and you got 21 of them on the ground. Here comes 3rd and 9. Thornhill has Moon in the backfield with him. Juan fakes it. Now he's flushed out of the pocket. trying to throw. He does have a man downfield. He pump fakes it again. Turns the corner, still on his feet and staying in bounds. Now he's cutting it across the middle of the field. Big block right there in the middle, and Juan Thornhill is gone. He is across the 30. No flags are on the field. What a monster block by Donovan Montague. Thornhill can just jog it into the end zone. It is an 81-yard Juan Thornhill run. And, boy, he was about 12 yards deep in the backfield when the rush was coming there. Vintage Juan Thornhill stuff. 4th rushing touchdown of the night. And this one is a long one right here, Oscar.
Well, you know, that goes the Juan Thornhill highlight film. That rates up with that play we saw him run at Gala.
Yeah.
The one he had at Rustburg. You start to try to pick the top 5 for Thornhill for this year. Boy, you almost can't do it.
A Juan Thornhill highlight film is like as long as like a Steven Spielberg movie. You know, it's 2.5 hours long because he's got so many of them. He'll jog off the field and let Navy Jones hold on to this one for the extra point. Juan wanted to throw initially. He was flushed out. He had to run away from about 5 defensive linemen. Took some contact along the left sideline after, about a 5-yard gain. Managed to stay in bounds. Then he cut it across the field. Got the monster block from Donovan Montague, and really that was all she wrote. Sussex never had a chance after that. Extra point is good from Walker Allen. Colonels, big lead now. They're up 49-12. 6 minutes left in the football game on 105.5 KD Country.
Go Colonels! The Rehab Associates of Central Virginia congratulate the Altavista Colonels on a great season. Rehab Associates of Central Virginia with 9 convenient locations, giving you direct access without the need for referral. Rehab Associates of Central Virginia cheering on the Altavista Colonels throughout the playoffs. Let's go Colonels! Rehab Associates of Central Virginia in Hurt. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
49-12 running clock now in effect for the Altavista Colonels, and I don't know that we saw this coming, Oscar. We knew Sussex Central was good, and they really showed some great football early in the game, so the fact that the clock is running now, meaning Altavista has the big lead, pretty impressive.
Yeah, we talked about the possibility that Juan was approaching 200-yard rushing with that 81-yard jaunt, 267 yards on the ground for Juan, 42 for Dustin, and 21 for Claudel, 10 from Michi. Boy, the Colonels have racked up another 377 yards against a very, very good Central Sussex team.
Yeah, awesome stuff right there. I love how you described it, the 81-yard jaunt. And, boy, if you just saw the end of it, the last 20 yards where Juan was just kind of cakewalking into the end zone, it did look like a jaunt there, didn't it? Walker Allen been pretty good. He missed the 1 extra point, but other than that, he's been perfect. And he's been pretty doggone perfect on the kickoffs as well.
Well, and the Colonels ended up doing that fake extra point and made up for that with a little 2-point conversion.
We'll get you some scores here. And if you're a local fan of local teams, may not be the scores you want to hear, but we'll get them to you anyway when the Subway post-game show gets underway. Good tackle here on the special teams. Looked like, give me a number there. Is it Nelson Dews? On the stop right there? No, it's not. You're right. It's Traquan Farmer on the big special team stop, coming off pumped up there. Big tackle right there by Farmer.
Yeah, and again, Traquan just a freshman. It's good to see that out of him. We've seen him call his number several times on special teams here later in the year.
Bunch of new faces, some guys, the first 4 or 5 games we didn't really talk about, and now they're getting in and again, playing a lot of meaningful minutes, too.
Seeing Nelson Dews out in the playing Juan Thornhill's position now. So Juan a little bit gassed after that run. Seeing Nelson Dews come in and play the safety.
What'd you say Juan had on the game now? 284 or something like that? 267. Great stuff from Juan Thornhill. Play fake by Delkin. He wants to keep it himself. Cuts it around the left side. Getting harassed over there by the numbers by just about everybody on the team for the Altavista Colonels. Hard to identify a tackler on that. Solid pickup, 5 or 6 yards. Clock running now, under 5 minutes to go in the Apple Market fourth quarter.
They're going to mark that at 35, gain of 5. Kyle continues to dig for scores for us here from local games.
Sometimes you got to dig harder than others. You wouldn't think it'd be all that tough, because there's not that many local games around. Do have a score from down there in Franklin, too, by the way. You'll find out who Altavista is going to play next week. Some of you can guess, or if you got access to the internet, you can probably figure it out too. But if you want the suspense, then just wait till the Subway postgame show. Passing play here. Delk looking over the middle. Ball got tipped and fell incomplete. Demetrius Johnson thought he had another interception. It was just a little high. Clock continues to run because of the big lead for Altavista. It was an incomplete pass, but the clock's still running. 3rd and 5 on the way for Sussex, and if they don't get this one picked up, then this probably is going to be their last offensive play of the season. And you got to take your hat off to Sussex. We mentioned it, a lot of young guys, only starting to 3 seniors, so you got to believe that it's a team you could be seeing down the road again somewhere.
Well, again, Colonels with only 3 seniors starting on the offensive side as well, so you could very well see these teams back in a similar situation next year.
Shotgun snap. Delk hands it off to Boone. Boone getting touched up by Demetrius Johnson and Stephen Farmer. They were there to make the stop. Going to be short of the first down marker. Going to bring up 4th and about 1, I think, again. 3:22 now as that clock continues to wind on down.
Obviously brings up a 4th down situation. 4th and we'll call it a long one.
See what the Colonels try and do on defense. Maybe they'll just run their regular defense, or maybe they crowd that line and try and fill all those gaps and get the big 4th down stop. You never want a team to pick up a 1st down. It doesn't matter what the score is. It's still just a point of pride. Stephen Farmer in there on that D-line. Looks like Dante Poindexter over on the right side of that D-line as well. Shotgun spread formation, two receivers to each side. Here comes a shotgun snap from Delk. He'll put a man in motion. That looks like Jason Farmer. They give it off to number 4. That's Michael Jarrett. Jarrett rolling his way through the defense. He's across the 40. And he gets dragged down. Touchdown, saving tackle right there by Ty Woodruff. Bringing Farmer down by the ankles. Good hustle play there. He had to make up about 5 full yards, Oscar, and he finally ran down Jarrett.
Yeah, that was a great play by Ty to be able to run him down. Game of 31 on the play.
Well, it's been that kind of year, hasn't it? It's been a long year.
Yeah, it has.
12 games to be in fact.
12.
To be in fact. There's a term. I think I just made that up right on the spot. 2 receivers to each side. Oh, Oscar and I aren't perfect. In fact, we're pretty much on the other end of it. There's a handoff on the wide receiver sweep there to Deshaun Barrow, number 3. Plowing ahead for 5 yards. Good hard running. Wasn't so much of a sweep as it was he turned it up in the alleyway behind the left tackle there.
When you talk about not being perfect, speak for yourself.
I'll tell you, your interview with Mr. Micah Moon, again, at halftime, that was one of the all-time great interviews we've had up here, and obviously it helps you had a good dance partner, but really, really impressive stuff there with Mr. Moon, just his story and, what he's doing now, that kind of thing. His perspective on college football, and he, really did have a great perspective because he said, hey, he mentioned the mental side a lot, which I liked. He said my head just wasn't in it there for a while, just, wasn't right. And then, unfortunately, when my head did get back in it, that's when I hurt my knee. Yeah, it happens from time to time. That's a good life lesson. It's not always going to work out the way you want it. But he certainly made his life work out pretty well after the fact. Passing play for Delk, picked off. Intercepted again by the Altavista Colonels, so add another one to their tally. And it's Destin Brown on the interception.
Yeah, nice job by Destin. He had that pattern read the whole way. That was that just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they had tried that not so much of a slant, just kind of a seam where that slot guy just runs straight down the seam or straight down the hash mark. Tried to hit him about 5 or 6 yards, and Destin Brown was having none of that. That's actually Destin's first interception on the year, Oscar.
Well,
and I think it's now I said it was 22, so it's 23 now for the Colonels on the year.
Yeah, 22.
Is that how it works? You go right.
But let's it's been a tough situation for Delk coming in at quarterback.
Yeah.
But let's give him some credit. He hadn't backed down. He's tried to throw the ball. He's done a good job running the offense. It's just a very tough Colonels defense. 43 seconds. Clock continues to wind down. Donovan Montague under center now for the Colonels.
Just going to take one final knee, and that'll wrap it up here. Big win for the Altavista Colonels. They're going to move on. Clock will wind down. I don't think the officials will make them snap it again. If they do, it'll just be one more knee. And now they are going to come off the field. The officials gave the word, hey, we got time. Excellent stuff here from English Stadium. 49-12. find out what happened in some other games. We'll wrap this one up. Subway postgame show, sure to be a winner. Big win here for Altavista, 49-12. Back after this on 105.5 KD Country.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1932, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg, Virginia.
Chef's Drive-In is a proud supporter of Altavista High School athletics. And after a great game, stop by Chef's Drive-In at 1101 Main Street in Altavista for the best food around. The next time you're hungry, there's no other place to go. Give Chef's Drive-In a try today. When it comes to ham biscuits, hamburgers, hot dogs, or fries, Chef's Drive-In can't be beat. And if you want the best milkshakes in town, you've got to give Chef's a try. Chef's Drive-In, Main Street in Altavista across from CVS.
Life happens. Divorce, family problems, criminal charges, civil litigation, personal injury cases. Turn to David W. Shreve, an experienced attorney at law. David W. Shreve has been practicing law for over 30-plus years. A free consultation for personal injury cases. Call today, 369-6621. That's 369-6621. David W. Shreve congratulates the Colonels football team, and good luck. Go Colonels. David W. Shreve, located on 7th Street in Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels 49, Sussex Central 12. Big win. Altavista really pulled away. They did some scoring there in the first half, sputtered a little bit in the third quarter, and then they started pulling away, Oscar. Good stuff here in this one tonight. And we'll finally reveal that opponent. Franklin did beat Rappahannock. Bit of a close game there, 39-14. So it'll be the Franklin Broncos in town Friday night, and that game will be on Friday, day after Thanksgiving next week. Don't know a time yet. I think when we went down to Franklin last year, the game was sort of a daytime game, correct? I can't remember.
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't?
It was a 7 o'clock or 7:30 game, and we'll see the same thing. I think the game's slated for 7 here. Boy, you take care of a 2011 score to settle with Sussex, and now you get an opportunity to take care of a 2012 score to settle with Franklin. And it's well documented what went on with Franklin last year. A lot of barking, a lot of fan intervention, and really, really interesting set of circumstances. The Armory is always a tough place to play down there, and now due to the Colonels' great season, they get to host and look for a little retribution.
Yeah, that's why you take care of business in the regular season as much as possible. Of course, Colonels 9-1 in the regular season. Only loss was to Gretna. Big win last week in the first round of the playoffs. Another big win here. And gosh, you mentioned Bonanza or Gunsmoke, whatever it was earlier in the broadcast. It sounds kind of like a Western. Altavista out to settle all the old scores there. And we'll see if they can take care of Franklin next week. Obviously, it's a good Franklin team. It's a team that's always in the playoffs. You mentioned it, tough place to play down there, Armory Field. Bob and I went down there twice with William Campbell. William Campbell came back a loser both times. Altavista went down there, same situation. Situation's a little bit different now. When you got to make that long bus ride, it's not any easier. And I can imagine next week on Friday, English Stadium is going to be a pretty tough place to play, too, don't you think?
Yeah, it will. The word's going to get out. The Altavista community, the Altavista, which traveled very well last year down to Franklin, saw a tough ball game that the Colonels struggled with, and they're going to come out in full force, and you got to believe Franklin travels extremely well.
Yeah. Not just the community, I think, with Altavista, although you're definitely right about that. I think you can see some other people start filing in, people from Lynchburg. I saw a couple of Chatham guys here tonight.
When your immune system wants support, try Airborne. With 13 vitamins, minerals, and herbs, like zinc, echinacea, ginger, and a blast of vitamin C. Airborne, in effervescent, chewables, and now a new formula in gummies.
Basketball scrimmage tonight that they canceled. There's been some discussion that there's a possibility that that was one of the reasons.
Hey, Altavista's a big draw. They're the superstars now. Tell you what else is a superstar. Subway pregame show. We'll take a timeout and come back with more here. 49-12, Colonels with the big victory on 105.5 KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch and Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
From small to tall, Highview Motors GMC has it all. Highview Motors GMC, an authorized GMC team with fantastic pricing. Highview Motors Collision Repair and Body, bringing back the shine with top-notch frame and unibody repair. PPG Paint, 24-hour towing, working hard to earn your business. Highview Motors GMC, Main Street, Altavista.
Small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors GMC.
When you need gas or hungry for the best fried chicken around, One Stop Mart is your one-stop shop. Congratulations, Altavista Colonels, on a great season and making it to the football playoffs. Remember, One Stop Mart has all your convenience items, gas, beverages, and deli specials with home-cooked food, fast and hometown service. One Stop Mart, Main Street, Altavista. Go Colonels!
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway post-game show. I mentioned I was going to give Subway a big shout-out there because they kind of got shortchanged in the pregame show. I'd forgotten how good that Southwest sauce is on stuff, Oscar. I got away from that a little while there. I was doing some other things, you know, with the honey mustard, blah, blah, blah. Southwest
on your pizza, probably.
Yep, probably. Give us some of those stats. This could take a while anyway.
Well, you know, you talk about some individual stats. Thornhill with 267 yards on the ground, Desson with 42, Claudio with 21. The other backs combined for 10. The Colonels with a total of 377 yards, 340 on the ground, 37 through the air. Sussex, 81 on the ground, 107 through the air, only 188 yards, only 30 yards in the second half. So that speaks volumes for what the Colonels' defense was able to do. It also speaks volumes for the difference between Jones and Delk. Jones, a senior all-district player last year. Delk, a freshman that just doesn't have the experience. Penalties, 45 yards against Sussex, 25 against the Colonels. 2 big turnovers for Sussex, actually 3. I missed one here in the fourth quarter, or 2 in the fourth quarter. There's 4 turnovers that I didn't get written down. Really a dominant performance by the Colonels, winning 49-12. They took charge early and never let them in the ball game.
Yeah, we mentioned that they sputtered a little bit there in the third quarter, but then got back on track. Really hard-nosed football, and the defense played great the entire game. So we'll talk about that again. Got some scores coming up here. Don't turn away. We'll let you know what's going on in those other area games. 49-12, Altavista wins here. One last time out on the Subway pregame or Subway postgame show. Pardon me, on 105.5 KD Country.
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
Man, it's cold in here. What's wrong with your heater?
Well, it used to work pretty good.
Back in the 90s, just call Select Air and get it fixed.
Oh, it'll probably cost a lot of money.
No, it won't, because Donnie will give you a fair price and get it done right the first time.
Maybe I'll call Select Air tomorrow.
No, you will call Select Air today, because it's freezing in here.
Select Air, 841-1580. 841-1580. Online at selectair.webs.com. This week's specials from your Apple Market's convenience stores. Get an 8-piece fried chicken box for only $6.99 from 4 to 8 p.m. every day and all day Sunday. Warm up with any size coffee or cappuccino for just 99 cents. Get a case of Coke at the special price of $6.99 now at Apple Market locations, Riverside, Gateway, and Main Street in Altavista. Check out the Apple Market Holiday Feast, including 10-pound boneless turkey or ham, 2 large size, a dozen rolls, and a whole pie. Pre-order at Main Street or Riverside Apple Market. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway postgame show wrapping up here from English Stadium. Remember, 2 great locations, Main Street in Altavista and in the Walmart on the Clarion Road. Local scores. Now, you heard about Franklin coming to town. Heritage gets the win, 47-28. That was a bit of a tight ball game for a while. They'll play Hidden Valley next week. So Brad Bradley and his squad continuing to roll along. Dan River loses tonight. It was a close ball game there. They lost 15-6 to Buckingham. So the Wildcats are done. That hurts a little bit. We're always fond of Coach Farrell Edmonds and his staff. Appomattox drops a close one to Giles, Oscar, 17-14. So the Raiders are done in a game that they, was probably back and forth the whole way. Giles with the great tradition, the great history, the single wing. Tough loss there, and Kendall Blankenship, one of those guys that would be hard to keep off our all Oscar and Hoehne list. His season comes to an end. So tough luck there for Appomattox and Dan River. Altavista, only Dogwood team left standing at this point.
Well, and when you think about Giles, they were number 1 coming in. They were favored 11-0. For Appomattox to play them as tough as they did, it says a lot for the job that Appomattox team did this year.
Well, good point there. Altavista, as I said, the only Dogwood team left. Heritage still around. We'll keep tabs on them as long as they're in the playoffs, obviously. Colonels be at home next week hosting Franklin. Putting the finishing touches on this one, 49-12 victory. Player of the game time for us. I can go first again for Sussex. Man, I lost my roster there, but I really loved what Daquan Jones did. The quarterback for Sussex before he got injured. DeQuandre Jones, I apologize, I left out the Dre in there, but you mentioned it. You saw the drop-off they had when Delk came in. No offense to Delk, he's just a freshman, but boy, Jones really threw the football well.
Well, he did, and very impressive. I'm gonna go a little bit of a different route. I'm gonna go with Michael Jarrett. Jarrett had a solid game, scored a touchdown, and had a couple of long runs, so that's my player for them.
I like that. And before we do the player of the game for Altavista, just a little tidbit there on that Giles Appomattox game. They were tied with 5 seconds left, and Giles made a field goal to win it. So that makes it even tougher to swallow for the Raiders there. But obviously nothing to hang their heads about when you go into Giles and lose on a last-second field goal like that. But that'll sit with them for a little while. Great season for the Raiders. On the other side, player of the game for the Altavista Colonels. I know we've done it a bunch, but I think there's a reason why we've done it a bunch. Juan Thornhill, absolutely one of the best I've ever seen. You know what they say, Oscar? Scientists, that is. Scientists say 2/3 of the earth is covered by water. The other third covered by Thornhill, and he showed that tonight, running for 250+. Threw a touchdown as well.
Yeah, I mean, I look and Alvis is going to get us about agreeing, but I think tonight's situation, you don't have any choice. It has to be Juan Thornhill.
Yeah, and again, everybody from Altavista played good. Gosh, how big were those holes that he had to run through? You got to tip your hat to the offensive line. Fun night here tonight. Eleanor Hoehne back at the station. Always the player of the game, in my opinion anyway. A fantastic job again. And she had a little bit of a layoff there. Nick Bailey had been doing most of the damage for us. So back in the saddle for her. It's like riding a bike. She never forgets. And hopefully she won't forget next week, and you won't forget to join us as well. That'll wrap it up for us. Franklin Broncos in town. Altavista going to try and knock off the team that beat them and ended their season last year. They'll get to do it on their own turf this time around. Subway pregame show is going to get underway about 6:30, 6:35. Until then, keep listening to that great country music and have a great weekend, everybody.